trying to get it, so it fits in with the music.
Absolutely. Well, you know what time it is?
I sure do. Welcome back to The Dozens.
And the Dozens.
We're so glad that you're with us again
are.
today.
Welcome back to 54 BC.
54 BC. We are on the home stretch towards the landmark, somewhat artificial, that is 60 BC.
Yeah.
We made such a production out of 50 BC by, I think, offhandedly mentioning it in 51
Yeah.
BC. But 60 is going to be the big landmine, landmine,
Landmark.
landmark.
It could be a landmine.
Could be a
depending on the
landmine.
guest.
We are the guests are our wives again. I think is the
That
plan.
very
So
well could be a landmine.
for you, man, not
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
Perfect harmony in the Thomas family.
You can coach us.
I'd
right here live
I'd
in the back
rather just
corner.
try to create some sort of tension and watch you guys try to resolve.
You don't have
it.
to create it. We live in it. So, yeah.
I will be entertained by it.
We are a beautiful match of passion and alignment
you guys
and
are great.
disagreement.
You're great.
And it just seems to work somehow in all that big mix.
It
so.
is beautiful and entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I think I said it at XY. I made the joke about sometimes I wish my wife was just like a dumb blonde with no opinion that would just love me and do what I say. It's like, I wouldn't like that very long.
No. You need a sparring partner.
I do. I really do. She's good for me.
It would make your life easy, but you wouldn't respect her.
Yeah. Speaking of wives, dude, welcome back to the back corner.
Yeah.
We'll intro you properly in a second, but you've gained a wife and a child since the last time you were here.
It's a lot happening.
It's a lot
Yeah.
happening.
Since you were here in 7 BC.
Way back in 7 BC.
We might as well go ahead and give this guy a proper
All right,
introduction.
let's do
But
it.
we need some introducing
yeah,
music.
we do.
Justin Allen is the pastor of the Salt Mine here in St. John, New Brunswick, and he's also a leader in the Generation Prayer movement. Since his last visit to the back corner, Justin has gotten married to his lovely wife, Debbie, and they've had a baby that Justin had to syringe feed, just like husky pups that used to pull his dog sled.
There you go.
He loves Jesus, he loves young adults, and he loves to sleep, even though he hasn't had any in weeks. Please welcome, for the first time since 7 BC, Pastor Justin Allen!
Very nice.
I feel like the intros have gotten stronger
Man,
since you were last
so good.
here.
Yeah.
And we've
man.
upgraded them.
Yeah, we
The
have.
music, the hype, yeah.
Absolutely. We're just getting a little bit of that Bruce Buffer vibe from AJ over here.
It's legit. It's
In the back
yeah.
corner, weighing in at 210 pounds.
He's a look-see-do fighter. Yeah. I always love that. I assume that just means like
look-see-do?
they always would say that back in the day. They talk about he's a look-see-do fighter, which I don't think is an actual martial art. I think it's like a joke thing. Like he just learns from
That was
watching or
back when
whatever.
they held their fists like this.
Not quite. But,
Come on, put up your dick.
when I first got into UFC, it was always that. Now they're all just actual MMA fight. Like that's what they trained. That was back in the day when you were like karate or boxing or jujitsu, and then you jumped in. But
It's like that old-fashioned 40s, 30s.
oh yeah,
And it's Bugsy Robbins up in the blue corner.
gotta have a fisticuff.
Shane, I saw a clip of the comedian Shane Gillis, and he's got a whole bit about like white people used to think they were the coolest people until Jackie Robinson hit the home
Knocked
run.
them
It's like
out of their
you could
voice.
actually hear them change how they talk the minute he hit that.
Oh man.
Yep.
Well, today's sponsor, we do have a sponsor,
Yes.
is the Salt Mine.
Shout out Salt Mine.
We'll learn more
Yeah.
about that in a minute, but it
Yeah.
is not actually a place where table salt comes from.
That's right.
It's a place where the salt of the earth is
It is a great
nurtured.
Name.
and
It's a great
recycled.
name, man.
That's it.
It is. I
Yeah,
love it.
I do. I really do too.
I always tell my wife when I'm leaving for work, time to go back to the old salt mine. That's also that's a third definition of salt mine. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
like sometimes in the morning it's time to make the donuts. Sometimes it's back to the old salt mine. Anyway, so if you want to know anything else about what I say to my wife as I leave the house, we're going to have a Patreon of it.
That's behind the paywall.
That's right.
Yeah.
We don't just give away that kind of content.
No. Oh, speaking of give,
Yes.
when we arrived here today in the back corner, those of you who are listening, you can't
Legitimately,
see
this is not a joke. We have no idea who these are from.
There's a card
What they
with
are.
our names on it. Let's open the card
Yeah.
and then
Find out what we got here.
so this is Brent and AJ. This is live on the air. We have no idea.
No,
Ron,
we just
Ron didn't know.
An elf of some sort left it
someone
in the studio.
snuck into the back corner and left us a card and what appears to be
It's clearly someone who knows
Towels.
where the back corner is.
legends told and theories spun debates that keep us all in fun. On the back corner where things get absurd, you've got the dozens hanging on every word.
Ooh.
Leon's called it out, said you've got work to do. So here's a shower upgrade for each of you. From one of the dozens, a girl who partakes, saying, use a dang washcloth for heaven's sake. That is awesome.
That is, that's got to go up on the wall.
It's again, we need to know who this poet is because that's really well done.
It's a lady.
That's really well done.
They self-identified that, plus the penmanship
Also-
and the class with which these things are wrapped.
Yeah, I feel a bar of soap in there somewhere too.
we
So
go.
we got a washcloth.
There's something in it.
Oh, a little Dr. Squatch in
there we go.
Yeah.
Man,
What flavor did you get?
I got wood barrel bourbon.
I got Birchwood Breeze.
I think she got us right.
Oh, I kind of like that.
Nice.
Yeah, this is my soap.
Is that yours?
Yeah, I use this stuff.
You smell good.
Yeah.
You look good.
It's the best.
Look at this. My very own washcloth.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna go home and probably not use it.
I appreciate the gift. I even appreciate the poem more. That's
Yeah,
well
it's-
done.
yeah.
Well played. Well spun.
Anonymous lady dozen
Yeah.
poet.
Thank you for that. We are here for all the anonymous gifts. So yeah,
We're not
brought to you by
We're not brought to you by Dr. Squatch, but if you're out there, Dr.
No
Squatch,
free shout outs, Dr. Squatch.
That's right.
We'll send you a press pack this summer if you want to
it's just-
sponsor.
there are other medical Yeti-based soaps that you
Hey.
can buy.
AJ and I already talked about that this podcast needs to sell out.
Yeah.
We are fully here to sell out. So if you want your product, we're not above product placement
No,
on
well,
this.
and genuinely,
I mean,
the podcast
certain products.
is not free for the church to put on.
No.
And we are very open in our next season to finding some ways to recoup some of the investment that's been made there. I mean, we think that there's a value in the podcast in and of itself, but we're also happy for it to generate just revenue to replace, like just operating cost stuff.
We're not lining our pockets with it. It's just to
No.
bless the kingdom. But let me just say to the potential clients out there, this podcast has a way bigger footprint than other podcasts that are taking in a lot of good ad revenue. So just leaving it out there. You
In
could be
terms
the
of
first
Christian podcasts in Canada,
with a conspiracy theory bent.
hosted by two guys that are based on some sort of corner location.
We're number one.
No, it's not. There's a reach. There's a reach.
There's
If
a
you're
reach.
interested and want to know what it is, reach out to us.
Yeah.
And we'll let you know.
Speaking of the dozens, we want you to participate in a little research today.
Yeah.
Ron, what are we wanting to know?
I thought a pretty good topic, maybe conversation, would be reusable diapers. How do we feel about them? Yes or no?
Oh, reusable diapers.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm the furthest one from the diaper phase, so I'll.
I've been out of the game for a while.
Although arguably I'm also closest
you never know.
from the other side.
All bets are off when everybody gets like 70 plus.
Totally.
You know, you got the 90-year-old that's still kicking butt, and you got the 70-year-old that's in diapers. It just,
I will say at the rate I'm going right now, diapers are not going to be an issue.
it's getting things moving.
The aging process for me has been in the other direction when it comes to the release of
Excellent.
bodily expulsion.
These are the hard-hitting answers that we're here for.
But if you want more details, you're going to have to go to the Patreon.
Patreon, yeah. Yeah, so cloth diapers, what's your take?
For as long as I could afford to not use them, I'm not using them. Not a chance.
Nah.
No.
We were like this. I don't think we had any intentions of doing cloth diapers, but we get the logic behind it, even from an eco standpoint and all of that. But I don't know. You'll speak to this later, I'm sure, Justin. Once you have the baby, things just get real, and you're like, all the we're gonna invite our baby into our world, and its schedule is gonna reflect our schedule. And you have all these great intentions, and then just the bomb drops, and you're like, survive. Go buy the non-biodegradable Kirkland bulk. I don't care if that's in the landfill 10,000 years from now. Just put it on his butt.
I don't care if it's laced with uranium and strychnine.
I know. You're just like, survive.
I don't care if they kill a white elephant for every
Yeah. If this is
every
made out
seven one of these extincts
tusks.
another species. Yeah.
tusks from the black rhino are in it. I don't care. Just get it. Is it cheap? Is it available? Yes.
It's that Mike Tyson quote.
Yeah, everybody's got a plan until
Yeah.
they get punched in the mouth.
That's it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the one. Yeah, totally. So if you can do it and you did it, hats off to you. Like
Legitimately.
that's well played, well done. Ain't nobody got time or appetite for that, at least for my 3 kids. So we did diapers. We did and I got out of diapers once. I had this is the last box of diapers.
Yeah,
thing.
you were in the free and clear.
We were, and then we're like, actually. Then 5 years later, we had another
start
baby
again.
and start all over again. But
Restart that shot clock.
yeah, exactly.
That's what
yeah.
when we adopted, we were like, we'll adopt, and we're willing to adopt a kid younger than our youngest. We wound up adopting one in the middle between our two, but it was like, I don't want to restart. Like people, you guys gonna adopt a baby? We're like, I ain't restarting that shot clock from
Yeah.
whatever 30, right? Like,
I mean,
I'll shave a couple of seconds back on or whatever. But
it's
yeah,
a shock to the system, for sure. So,
I can only imagine.
and the older you get, the more of a shock it is. So,
Yep.
Says the guy who had his first kid at what age again?
42.
Oh
I could
my
just-
goodness, bro!
Listen,
You're
I
gonna
could-
be 60 when
Yeah,
your first
yeah.
one.
I've thought, I know what's coming.
You're here for it though. You're
Yeah.
young. You're a young 42. But
Yeah.
I can picture
It's
you
not like
some
you've done
nights
any hard
though,
living or anything.
just being like, oh, for a night in my sleeping bag and minus 60 and
Oh, yeah. Just put me back in the woods with the dogs. I'll take it.
On the upside,
Yeah.
you have a passel of kids and they're all hyperactive. Just hook them up to the sled,
There you
run
go.
them out.
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah. Well, my dog's actually got back in her harness for the first time in 7 years.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
How's the dog taken to the babe?
She doesn't care.
No.
Bella
It's
doesn't
still
care
just
about
me and
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's
Yeah.
another thing to sniff for 20 seconds
Yeah.
and good enough.
Move on.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's a thing that's also in my house.
Yeah.
Can
It's
move
like,
on.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I bet you we have some members of the dozen, probably whoever this person that's got their crap together enough to sneak into the back corner,
Yeah.
leave an incredible poem and some nicely wrapped washcloths. This might have been a cloth diaper person.
Could have been.
This is well played.
I do get the logic of
I do-
cloth
I do
diapers,
too.
and
I
I
respect
totally
it.
respect the
I do
people
too.
who do it. But man, that to me is one of those like, I mean, on the ease side, it's a no-brainer. You go with disposable. On the expense side, there's one of those like we all decide what's worth spending money, and to me, that's very much worth spending money. And frankly, on the whole eco side, you do the same thing too, right? Yeah. So it's like, yeah, like I'll be a pretty fastidious recycler, and I also like don't own a private jet.
Yeah.
But also, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Using fossil fuels. I'm driving around.
We had our kids, I mean, not that no one was cloth diapering then, but it was kind of in that there was like a zone between like that's the option and that's like the cool return to the earth thing.
Yeah.
And we were like very close to the end of that kind of, it wasn't really a big debate. Like when we
Yeah.
were having kids, people were like, what are you going to do? Like everyone just assumed like for a baby shower, everyone would just buy you diapers, that kind of stuff. It was just an assumption.
It was pretty on vogue when we were having kids. Like
Yeah.
there was a lot of people there doing cloth.
Yeah.
So
Also, I say you're just that little few years behind us. And
I just the idea of like
yeah.
shaking a turd out of it and throw it in the laundry or whatever. It's just nah.
I mean, at this stage, it's minuscule, but
It's not gonna be.
that's not going to be.
No,
Like,
dude.
I could do it maybe for the first month, but already I'm like,
Well, the
there-
problem is in the first like month or two, you can't shake that out.
no.
yeah.
Speaking of the good folks at Crosby's,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then
It
you
gets once they get real food though, or like dude,
yeah.
some of the blowouts are spectacular.
I can't wait. Yeah.
Spectacular. Like right up to their neck.
You
It's
go-
unbelievable.
For those of you who haven't had the joy, that the progression goes molasses, Dijon mustard, and then just full on turds. Yeah. And first you see the molasses and you're like, this is really gross. And then the Dijon comes and you're going, I would love for some of that molasses. And then you're just like, this is a human poop.
yeah.
Like, this isn't a baby poop. This is just a human poop, and I have to deal with it. You guys ever deal with kids being constipated, like when they were that
No,
age?
I'm not in our house. No,
Yeah.
We didn't. No. Not for any concerning amount of time.
Yeah.
pretty regular.
We had a few issues with that, and my brother taught me the solution: just a little Vaseline, boom.
Really?
Yeah,
It's a little lubrication.
totally turned him right into a soft serve ice cream machine.
Is that right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at that. Man, we're getting all
Now,
the
if you want to know
all
the specifics, though,
tips.
you're gonna have to go to the page.
And this has been Turd Tips.
Turd time in the back corner. There
All
we go.
right, moving on.
So we
got some I like what we're gonna hit here in the news. We got some
yeah, we got
great-
some fun stuff.
some news to cover.
So, gossip blogger, really one of the original kind of guys doing that, way before social media, all
Doesn't he
that kind of
call
stuff.
himself the original influencer?
I believe that is the title he has made for himself.
Yep.
A guy named Perez Hilton, and it's been in the news lately. He's had an encounter with God. He's known for kind of his catty, mean-spirited posts about various celebrities. He's also a very out and proud gay man, but he developed sepsis from a stomach ulcer. And almost died in the hospital. And while he was in the hospital, he had an experience that he describes in the following video.
One of the most special things about this experience is that God presented himself to me. It was not a feeling. God presented himself to me. And I grew up Catholic. I was baptized, had my communion, confirmed, went to Jesuit school for 7 years, but I was never a believer until now. God presented himself to me and then did something that I could only call miraculous. And I was very lucid. It was real. And this has been life-changing.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah. So he's in the hospital, and in his words, God presented himself. What do you think? What do you make of that whole kind of deal?
I'm looking something up. You go first.
Sure.
Sweet.
I have some thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's awesome.
I think it's in some ways how unlikely a candidate he is for that
Yeah.
gives it some validity. Like he doesn't have anything from the kind of trajectory of his career. He doesn't have much to gain from that and plenty to lose. It's been really cool to watch. Like he's been posting other updates of like he's starting to read through the Bible and
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff. And yeah,
I've seen a few come up on my algorithm. I don't follow Perez Hilton, but I've seen obviously my algorithm knows I like Christian stuff, and so it's popped up.
my algorithm thinks I'm either a fundamentalist Baptist or a oneness Pentecostal.
And obviously, like when you look at when you hear him talk, and if you those of you who are watching, you can see his face. Like you can tell, like
Yeah, he's moved.
he's moved.
Yeah.
There's something did happen to him. I fear for where he's a public figure and clearly has probably much to work out. I fear the online discipleship challenge that he's going to have, and the voices that are going to emerge, telling him all the things he can't do and all the stuff he must change immediately. That scares me a little bit. And I'm sure like all of us as Christians have a little bit of that inclination where it's like, okay, you're following Jesus. Now we know what it means for you to start piecing together what discipleship and lordship looks like and what the stuff you have to repent of, maybe stop calling yourself the queen and like all that stuff. Yeah. Like we immediately go to the doing and stuff. But what I would encourage, what I thought when I watched that, and the reason I had to look it up, I wanted to look up the text. It reminded me of the story of Naaman in the Old Testament. It's in 2 Kings 5. If any of the dozens want to read it, it's one of my favorite Old Testament stories. The story is Naaman's the commander of the Syrian army, and he's like this super successful, dominant leader. He gets stricken with leprosy, and none of the healers and stuff in Syria can fix him. And he has a Jewish slave girl that basically says, "Oh, go to Israel and go see the prophet Elisha, and he'll put you on the right track." And so he musters up just enough faith to go do that, which very similar to people you've heard have conversion experiences in the hospital and stuff. You're in that moment. You're like, okay, God, if you're there,
Yeah.
show yourself. And so Naaman goes and comes to Elisha, and it's a great story where like Elisha doesn't even come out to greet him. Basically, like he comes with Naaman's just got his whole mentality of how things work. He comes with the chariots and like a whole entourage, this big well-to-do man, and he goes to see Elisha, and Elisha basically just doesn't play the game at all. And he's like, "Oh, here's what you do: go down and dip yourself in the Jordan 7 times, and you'll be healed." And at first, Naaman's like offended by it. He's like, "I'm an important person." And he actually says, like, why,
water.
I'm not going to go wash in your nasty river. To quote our friend Leonce, that river's nasty, bro. Right? Like,
I don't even have a
like,
washcloth.
Yeah, it's not even a washcloth here. So he's like, I'm not doing that. And then his someone in his entourage is like, look, just humble yourself and do it. And so Naaman goes down, he dips himself like Elisha said, and he's healed. And he comes back, and there's the dialogue between him and Elisha, and he's like, now I know there is a God, and the only God is the God of Israel. And you see in the text, he's starting to work out what that means right there in his own clunky way. Like he's just come out of all that, way of thinking, that way of life, and now his heart's been converted, even though his understanding hasn't. And he says to Elisha, he goes, so yeah, 2 things I ask. 1, can I take some dirt back with me so that I can, because clearly this God is only in Israel. So I need to take some of the dirt back to Syria so I can worship the God of Israel in Syria on that dirt, which we know theologically, the God of Israel is the God of everywhere.
Yeah.
And you don't need dirt to worship him. But Elisha doesn't correct him. He's like, yeah, sure, go ahead, take some dirt. And then he goes, and when I have to help my master, the king, go worship Dagon and I know that Dagon is not God now. And he goes, will you forgive me, or will God forgive me for kneeling down at the altar as I help the king kneel down before Dagon? And Elisha says, go in peace. He blesses him to go do it. And it's one of those things where there's a lot loaded into that. And N.T. Wright's commentary on it, I love what he said. He goes, you could look at that glass half empty or glass half full. And Elisha saw in Naaman that his heart had been turned and he's asking the right questions, even though there's so much stuff he's got to figure out. Elisha knew, he's like, I can't unsee what I've seen. Yeah. And I'm on this journey with God, and God's going to lead me and work this stuff out. And it's not to say there's not a place in discipleship for confrontation or like, hey, you need to stop that. You need to, crucify that part of your flesh, whatever. Like there's a time and a place for it. But all that to say, when I look at Perez Hilton and what's clearly happening is something real seems to be happening in his heart. And I think as Christians, we need to celebrate that, applaud that, and trust God's ability. Yeah. If God can save him, God can transform him. Yeah. And don't just jump on like you can't be a practicing homosexual now. You can't be this. You can't be like, give the Lord and him some time to process that. Let him go in this new peace and let God bring those tensions in at the appropriate times, I think is what I got thinking about that.
Yeah. You got thoughts, Justin?
Oh, just to agree with Brent. I think, it's easy for current believers to jump on the bandwagon and start discipling someone like that in behavior modification.
Yeah.
Oh, so now do this and don't do that. And then not actually allow the Lord to do the work, and we don't disciple them in relationship and in character, like who God is, and help them understand that. We just smack, here are all the rules.
Yeah.
There
is a time and a place for it, but again,
for sure.
it comes through relationship.
Yeah.
And if somebody who doesn't, like if I'm sure his direct message inbox and comments are full of Christians that are just giving him the list of what he has to do, and they don't have a relationship with him. Yeah. So like there's no room for the voice of God really to enter in and do that heart work that says, oh, this grieves God, then I can't do this anymore. Yeah. And until that happens in the heart, it is just behavior modification. He's just setting himself up for failure and frustration.
I think one of the dangers, and we've seen this over and over again, we've talked about it online or on the podcast here, is that people, because someone has what is high status in the world, celebrity status, high follower counts, that kind of a thing, we figure they have to be a leader right from day one. And so I would encourage people not to look up to him as a leader,
Yeah.
or as an example, as a theologian, as a like, you know, don't try to disciple him from afar, and certainly don't let him try to disciple
yes.
you from afar. And I would guess, I mean, I think you're absolutely right, Brent. I'm sure his inbox is full of people offering, and I would be shocked if some of the people in that inbox weren't pastors we've heard of.
Yeah.
And my guess would be they've convinced themselves that they really want to help this guy. But I would be willing to bet that at least in some of those cases, if they were totally honest and transparent with themselves, what they want is to be seen as helping. Like, there's somebody in your town who needs
Yeah.
that. Go help them.
Yeah.
Right? The fact that this guy has a huge follower count doesn't make him more special to God, more valuable to the kingdom. And so, you know, if he reached out to you, or if you'd met him before, like if there's some basis for that. But I think if you're just some rando going, I'll just insert myself into this situation in a way I wouldn't if he didn't have such a
Right.
following.
Because there's hundreds of guys today in the U.S. that are having that conversion experience.
Tons
and
of them.
people right in our own communities
Right.
that aren't famous.
Right. There's people in your church
Yeah.
who come every Sunday who could use that investment of your time. And if you've convinced yourself that someone like Perez Hilton is more worthy of that investment of your time because of the platform they have, you've bought into the world's way of thinking. So I would say don't look up to him as a leader. And to what you were talking about, Justin, about discipleship happening in relationship, like I don't think you can disciple someone you don't actually know in the real world. I mean, maybe over time, if you've built a real relationship via, you know, doesn't mean you had to have physically been in the same room, although I think that's helpful. But like, there has to be some actual relationship there.
People mistake popularity with maturity, especially like if there's a popular person who's a Christian adjacent. Like, we've seen it with Bieber.
Yeah.
Like, just
Kanye.
church. Yeah. Christians have really got to reclaim that.
Tons of
like,
athletes.
Who are we letting legitimately speak with authority on things, and why? Popularity is just not a good.
We think that celebrity validates the gospel,
Yeah.
right? The world goes, here's what matters, how popular you are.
Yeah.
And so we go, well, if we want to matter, and the way we make Jesus matter is by getting him some celebrity endorsements. And it's
Yeah.
like, dude, that is so jacked.
The
Like,
thing-
that is so the way of the world.
The thing that matters is actually faithfulness over the long haul.
Totally.
And those are the people you actually want speaking with authority into your life. And the inverse of that, though, is those are the people who also know it is faithfulness over the long haul. And so this new life in Christ and your transformation and being, like Ephesians says, filled to the full measure of all the fullness of God, it's not an overnight project. And it's something like, I mean, I've walked with you for what, 6 years now, 7 years?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I've watched that journey. You're a new man. You're so different than that first time. If you guys heard his story on episode 7, like, you're very different than that guy that came out of the woods bug-eyed saying, I heard your voice. I need to talk to you. Right?
Yeah.
But if I just hit you with, here's what you need to do.
Yeah.
Here's where Justin Allen's going to be in 7 years. So just do that now.
Yeah.
It would have crushed you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The other thing I would say too, like, I'm naturally cynical, and it's very easy for me to dismiss something out of hand. But I would say too, like, if you're trying to figure out, if you're losing sleep over whether Perez Hilton's conversion is valid or not, or real or not, or true or not, like, you're out of your lane.
Yeah.
The Lord's never asked you to decide that.
Yeah.
You know,
Or anyone's for that matter.
Yeah.
totally. Yeah. Now, again, how that plays out, maybe if there is an actual, like, when I say pastor, I don't even necessarily mean like person who's paid to work in a church, but someone who is a shepherd in his life, a discipler in his life. You know, there may come a point where it's their job, like we've talked about, to push him on some stuff and to go, like, do you understand the full ramification, like, to help him process through that. But it's one of the most freeing experiences I ever had. I was on a missions trip years ago. I mean, I was in college at the time, that was led by Dan Lamus, who Back Corner alumni. And we were in an environment, doesn't really matter where stuff was going on, that lots of people thought was absolutely, definitely a powerful move of God. And lots of other people thought was just absolute, like, BS, you know, charlatanism or whatever else. And I remember wrestling like, God, what is this? Which is this? Which is this? Which is it? And I remember the Lord just saying to me, he's like, I never asked you to decide that.
Wow. Yeah.
Like, you're not in charge here. This is not your place. You don't have an authority over this. You're not going to answer for this. Like, you don't need to know. Like, it's not, if it's happening in my family or in the church that I'm responsible for or a ministry I'm in charge of, it's my job to figure that out with the Lord's help, and he will help me. But like, I don't think the Lord has come to any of us and said, hey, you got to really have a strong take on where Perez is actually at these days.
Yeah.
But I would also say, so, don't also dismiss him though, or look down on him as a baby brother. To what you guys were saying, like, there's this whole idea of trajectory versus proximity, right? And there's lots of people who look a lot like Jesus, but haven't moved any closer to him in forever. And there's lots of people who seem a long way away, but they're headed in the right direction.
Yes.
And if you're on the right trajectory, let's encourage and cheer for and support those people, because they're going to get there. The people who have stopped, or who, as a pastor, it's the people who I see start to actually move away.
Yeah.
And that may not look like.
And they tend to get the most critical of the Perez Hiltons.
Yeah.
Right? It's if you're growing, you're going to celebrate growth where you see it.
Right.
You're just gonna be like, oh, I see it's happening.
Yep.
Like, yes, this
You're not threatened by it.
Yeah, this little shoot is going to grow into an oak of righteousness.
Well, and you're still focused on the goal is to move closer to Jesus, as opposed to who's winning the holiness Olympics here, right?
Yes,
Like,
totally.
well, I'm more holy than you, but
Prayed 3 hours today. How long do you pray?
I worry way less about the couple that walks into church, wouldn't know Jesus if they tripped over him, come to faith, they're living together, not married. Like, dude, that'll come. Like, they'll figure that out, versus the person who, the couple who they grew up in church their whole lives. They know exactly what scripture teaches. They lived, in terms of their relationship, a way that honored the Lord for quite some time. And then they come to me and go, I think we're just going to move in together. Like, those are not the same thing. Those are radically different.
Glass half full. One's going up and one's going down.
Yeah, one's not there yet. One's moving backwards. Right.
That's right.
And I
love it.
Yay, Perez.
Yeah.
Yay, God.
Yeah. But I just mean, I don't. It's not my job to figure out how legit it is, or to worry about where he's at right now.
It looks like something's happened, and I celebrate that.
Yeah.
And just trust the Lord.
Yeah.
I gotta find that sometimes it's like there's a fear, like, these celebrities are going to make us look bad now.
Yes.
I try to control them instead of going, Lord, here, I'm just going to pray for him.
Yeah.
I'm going to trust you to sanctify him.
Yeah.
And just release him.
Well, and if we don't platform them,
That's a help. That's a start.
it's hard for them to make us look bad,
yeah.
right?
The challenge is he already has a platform.
Yeah.
And that does throw a wrench in the whole thing, where it's like,
But I'm saying, like, imagine what he realized is that the best thing for his health was to play basketball.
Yeah.
And he starts posting videos of himself shooting around in the driveway.
yeah, we're gonna be like, he's going to the NBA.
That doesn't make the Lakers look bad unless the Lakers give him a jersey and put him on the roster,
yeah.
That's
right?
really good.
So you know what? Like, if LeBron or whoever wants to even just go like, hey man, see you're working on your jump shot.
Tuck
That's
that
great.
elbow in.
Yeah.
Tuck that elbow in.
Cool. God bless you. But like, we're not just going to start you next game. And I think that's the thing that, again, that whole,
Christians, man.
we have this thing where we're like, oh,
Give him a jersey.
they're cool and we can be cool too, which is one of those like, A, no, we can't. And B, that's not the goal.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of conversions, there's we got another video here. We'll check this out, and then let's talk about some other
A global
conversions
surge of
that are happening.
conversions into the Catholic faith is unfolding before our eyes. In France, more than 10,000 new Catholics were baptized at the Easter Vigil, a record high, up 45% from last year. In the United States, thousands are entering the Catholic Church across the country. In Los Angeles alone, over 3,300 new Catholics were welcomed. That is a 44% increase from 2024. And in Asia, churches are packed with new converts. In Malaysia alone, more than 2,000 people were baptized at the Easter Vigil this year. Tens of thousands are seeking truth in Christ's one holy and apostolic church.
So this is a thing we're seeing all over the place. I mean, there's a wave of conversions to Christianity in general that are certainly, happening in various places around not just the world, but the Western world. I mean, there's been waves of conversions in South America and Africa and stuff forever, Asia even, but in kind of Europe and North America. But it seems like there's an out of the typical ratios level of conversions
little Catholic resurgence.
yeah, like it's not just, you know, whatever percentage of conversions are Catholic, which is the same as the percentage of, you know what I mean? Like it's weighted far heavier than you would necessarily expect looking back over the last 5, 10, or 60 years. What do you guys think is driving that wave of conversions? And it seems to be very common around. This is one of the reasons I wanted to ask this with you on, Justin, because it does seem to have a lot of younger adults are drawn to that. You also hear about Orthodoxy some too, although that's, at least in our little part of the world here, it's hard to find an Orthodox church, so it's less common to see. But yeah, what do you guys think of it in general, and what do you think's driving it?
I think Jesus is driving it. And
absolutely.
I think it's a rising tide lifts all boats.
That's it, yeah.
And there's just a lot of Catholic tributaries in the world that I think Jesus is calling people to himself. I think people are familiar with the Catholic Church, and so they start there, they go there, and so that's, I think, part of it. Another part of it is whether it's perceived or actual. It seems that maybe some of the barriers of entry to the Catholic Church that at least I grew up feeling were there, I don't see them as there as much. I don't know if it's just the circles I run with now, or if they're getting a little more savvy at figuring out how to they certainly don't change for the times. Like that's, I think, part of the magic of what is happening is people are looking for what's stable, truthful, old.
Yeah.
It's lasted. However, I do find more and more like Catholic priests that I talk to and stuff that are able to have a normal conversation. Like, this is a normal guy. This is somebody that understands the gospel and how that integrates with real life. Even though they have a lot of high church, they're able to interpret what they're doing. Maybe I perceive that anyway, that there's a better explanation and interpretation to the new person that's coming in. Whereas maybe it just took a few decades for them to realize, hey, there's people that have no grid for what we're doing, and we have to at least at some level help them along. So it's things like Alpha finding a space in the Catholic Church, I think, has been helpful. I think just some of those maybe barriers of entry that might have been there blocking otherwise potential converts and people coming in, I think some of that's removed too. So I think that's at play.
There was a long time where, like, the Catholic Church, it took them, I mean, again, I love my Catholic brothers and sisters, but it took them a lot longer. There's a thing they call the new evangelization, which is just a focus on leading people who don't know Jesus to Jesus. It's evangelization. And I sometimes will joke with my Catholic friends and say, like, you guys have a new one? We're still working on the original one, right? But there really was a time for a lot of areas in the Catholic Church, everyone was one.
Yeah.
Or at least that was, that's how they would have seen it. And so it was like, like you raise your kids in it, but it's like, okay, let's say you weren't born into a Catholic family. How do you what's the on-ramp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the mass is not designed at all to be an on-ramp. Like typically in a Protestant church or an evangelical church, Sunday mornings may be heavily geared towards new people or not, but usually there's some sense of making it accessible to some extent. You know what I mean? Like at least acknowledging that guests are going to be there, like having people to help you find a seat, like that kind of stuff. Whereas mass is just not designed that way. You literally can't fully participate in it if you're not fully Catholic. So I do think there's something to be said for that, of just, there's been more of an emphasis on evangelism and an acknowledgement that there are going to be adults who need to know, who don't know to ask if they can be a part of the next OCIA.
Yeah. And then,
I don't know what that is.
And we'll flip this over to you, Justin, on maybe your take on the generational component. I do think the Catholic Church is, not coincidentally, but like because of a move of culture and the generation that's emerging, there's an appeal to it that it didn't have with like millennials or Gen X's, where you have Gen Z and Gen Alpha particularly really looking for stuff that's stable, lasting, ancient. It's been around. They want that stability in like a network, digital, everything's transient age. I think that's a huge piece in it. I don't know if you guys saw, maybe we talked about it on the pod at one point, but when Shia LaBeouf was interviewed about why he chose to be Catholic, and he went like full, the most like Roman Catholic, Latin mass, doesn't understand a dang thing. The
Full rad trad.
yeah, like he's just and the guy interviewing was like, why did you choose that over like an evangelical church? And he goes, well, I went to the evangelical church and I felt like they were trying to sell me something. Then I went to the Catholic mass and I felt like I was being let in on something. Like they weren't changing a thing for me. And I want something bigger than me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, that, you know what? That's exactly what I was going to say. It's the consistency
Yeah.
that is there. That culture is just clearly like has a, I think, a huge part of it. Like they see just the like shaking foundation of like, what is all of this? And then the appeal is the consistency. Like we've like, especially with the Catholic Church, you know, is like, they've not swayed in their views.
Yeah.
They've held strong. And I think
Largely,
largely,
yeah.
and I think, but like, that's an appealing thing.
Yeah.
To a younger generation. And, you know, aside from the Lord calling them, it's just, they want truth and they want someone to call them into something bigger.
Yeah. That's the piece.
That is like, I can be, you mean I can be a part of something that's bigger than me?
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge thing.
It's a reaction to the secular gospel of like, you can be whatever you want and do whatever you want. And that's the best thing for you. And now they've tried that and found it wanting.
Yeah.
And now they're flipping the other way and saying, actually, I need somebody or something that actually challenges me and causes me to, I need to submit to something bigger than me. And I think that's a huge piece.
I think like Catholic theology can be pretty like dense and complicated, but it's clear in the sense of if you are Catholic, this is what you're supposed to believe.
Yeah. Right.
And I do think there's something about that whole like tied to the stability idea of like, you got to pick what you're going to do for, like, there was a time if you were born in a mining town, you were a miner. That was it. Like, you just knew what you were supposed to do, right? And if you were born into a fill in the blank religious family, that was just going to be your religion until you, like, all that stuff was laid out. And now it's like, you don't know where you're going to live. You don't know what you're going to do for school. You don't even know if you're a boy or a girl. Like, there's everything. You don't know, you know, am I going to marry a nice girl and settle down? Am I a nice girl who needs to settle down? Am I going to marry another guy? Like, there's just everything is up for grabs. That's something that just goes like, you can relax. We have kind of the script.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's almost the opposite of what drove like the boomers into the church growth. Right. Like we could make this whatever we want, you know, within boundaries, but, and it's like, oh, this is just going to be what it is. One of the things I laugh at a little bit with that is that I do think that stability and sense of ancientness and unchangingness is what draws a lot of people to the Catholic faith. But at the same time, I know one of the hottest raging debates within Catholicism is how much they've changed.
Yeah. They feel like they're changing.
Like, well, again, the whole rad trad, the TLM, the traditional Latin Mass crew versus the Novus Ordo, it's called, the Mass, the new approach to the Mass that was made official coming out of Vatican II. All those changes started before
Which
that.
isn't
But
like super recent.
dude, it's before all of our lifetimes. It was 68 or 66, something like that. Yeah. So I do think that's part of, I think another piece is historically, like in my lifetime, typically the fastest growing denomination has always been the Pentecostals.
Yeah.
And I actually think there's an overlap between those two, which are sort of different expressions of transcendence. Like something that speaks to the idea that there actually is this big, all-powerful God. For Pentecostals, it's very, like, it's frothy and it's close, but it's
high passion.
Right. Signs and wonders and miracles and transformation and ecstatic experiences. And for Catholics, it's a more reflective, I mean, there are charismatic Catholics, but it's typically a more reflective version of that. But there's still this idea of the bigness of God and the again, greater than me-ness of God, that I think there's some overlap in that.
Yeah. I wonder, I would want to add on this conversation though, like that was clearly a Catholic TikTok video because
Oh, yeah.
at the end it's like the one true apostolic church.
Yeah,
Like,
which
okay,
is
we
what-
got it, lady.
yeah.
Thanks. But the growth is happening. The kingdom is growing.
Yeah.
Like churches with even the slightest pulse are growing. Like it's actually hard not to grow right now.
Yeah.
Like you suck. Like
I mean,
like,
maybe if you're in a town with 7 people,
yeah,
and
but
6 of them
but
already
I'm-
come to your church.
But I'm saying though,
yeah.
any church with like that's in a community with a pulse.
Yep.
Like people are just coming. It's not hard. And I think some of the evangelical churches that are awake to the moment, like we have these conversations, is how can we okay, clearly there's a appetite and a hunger in the average person for the transcendent, for the stable. So like, you know, churches like us, there's many churches that are evangelical that are trying to incorporate more transcendence, more stability, even stuff like liturgy. Like let's do a corporate reading. Let's you know, more and more. I was in a meeting with a bunch of American pastors just this past week, and a bunch of them were like, yeah, we actually we're feeling the tide turn, and you know, we're moving away from topical attractional teaching, and we're just really going to just go through the Bible. Yeah. Great thought, right?
Imagine that.
But like people are leaders and churches are intuitively picking this up and figuring it out. And, you know, we have conversations at King's about like, how do we have moments where it's like, it's flesh and blood. I heard a good word for it this week was like non-downloadable moments. Like that a person can get a moment with the Lord and with the body of Christ that you can't get, you know, on a podcast or online. Like you actually had to be in the room. Like there's a huge appetite for that.
I love it.
So
There's a friend of mine who planted a church in Halifax a little bit while ago, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, and they're like little summation of who they are statement is ancient embodied analog. And I love that. And I think I mean, they would be a more liturgical tradition, and I do think it speaks to that idea. It's like something ancient. It's not online. It's physical. Like we actually do stuff. They're big on the sacraments, that kind of stuff. Yeah, and it's not a digital thing. It's a face-to-face, real-life analog.
I think it's wise to have that, and also like the digital as well. Like I think it's like
they got a website.
Yeah, okay.
But I think it's just
Yeah.
that idea of they're driving people towards actual human connection.
Yes.
And
And
again,
that's-
participate, like they would be a weekly communion kind of church and that kind of stuff.
That is Christianity. Like Christianity's embodied.
Yeah.
You know, like if it were meant to be disembodied, Jesus would have sent an email.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
he came in flesh and set this thing up to be embodied. So no, that's cool.
Well, we got to get our tinfoil hats on, at least
We haven't done it in a
metaphorically.
while,
No, we haven't
really.
done this in a while, but I think I found a pretty fun one here. So there's been apparently this trend of scientists who come up with world changing technologies disappearing or ending up dead. We got a video here that'll introduce this concept a little bit.
I started it as a public-facing persona to disclose anti-gravity technology through, because I told Mark this.
I love where this is going.
If you stick your neck out in public, at least someone notices if your head gets chopped off. If you stick your neck out in private, they will bury you. They will burn down your house while you're sleeping in your bed, and it won't even make the news. That's why the Institute exists.
This is a very disturbing story, no matter how you look at it, regardless of what actually happened. Rest in peace, Amy. If you have technology that could change the entire world, do you build that in public or do you build that in private? I'm working on a project here that could change the world. I'm not claiming it will. It could just be pseudoscience. It's called LENR. Back in 1989, cold fusion was written off as a fraud because it was tangled up with some religious stuff at a university in Utah and some funding issues and everything else.
All right, that's
Fast
good.
forward to
a university in Utah. I wonder which one it could be. So so this is a lady who was working on some sort of anti-gravity technology and was trying to make sure everyone knew that's
Shout
what she
out
was working on.
Moroni.
He used to overlook the apartment building I lived in Cole Harbor.
Did he?
Yeah, the big statue on top of the
We need
temple
to do a Mormon deep dive on the pod someday.
Dude,
Let's do it. Let's get an ex-Mormon on.
there's got to be if you're an ex-Mormon and you're one of the dozens.
Message us. Send us a poem.
Yeah, let us know. And if you still got the magic
Sorry,
underwear
so
or not. No,
Set this back up. This is fun too.
Yeah,
as
so-
fun as
so-
the Mormon conversation would be.
I mean, I have been watching a lot of those
You're
FLDS
ready to go.
documentaries.
I read
on-
Under the Banner of Heaven. I can go.
There you go. So So yeah, this lady was researching this anti-gravity technology and wound up dead, and apparently was the 11th scientist at whoever's counting there.
And she knew it was coming, clearly. She posted that video.
Yeah, that was posted before she was found dead. And so this guy's working on some other technology that he thinks also could be world changing. And so the whole point of the video is him going like, here's what I'm working on, here's what it should be, here's what it could do. Basically trying to make sure that if something happens to him, people will know to dig into it. I've heard stories of this for years, whether it's somebody develops a car that runs on water and either GM like buys them out, buys out the patent on it or whatever, and they run away and live on an island for the rest of their life, or they wind up dead or whatever else happens, or their family is so threatened that they're scared to ever mention it. What do you guys think? Do you think there are either corporations or governments that are suppressing new technologies?
I love this. You want me to go?
As our conspiracy theorist in chief, I think you should lead us into this.
Two opinions and cautions on this. Like, the first caution is, I think you are naive to think that that's not happening or hasn't happened. Like, just the economics of it. And then as Christians, like, I believe in total depravity, and the heart is wicked. Until the Lord gives us a heart of flesh, we are self-serving and self-seeking. We can justify terrible means to terrible ends. So, and there is, like, even a non-conspiratorial, creepy one. Like, it's a fact that Kodak invented the digital camera.
Yeah.
Kodak invented the digital camera in the late 80s, and they decided, hide this, because this is going to wreck our business. So they did it to themselves.
Yep.
They just said,
because their business is film.
Our business is film.
And if people have digital cameras, we can't sell film.
To stay profitable, we need to make sure that this never sees the light of day. Burn it. And they did. And then someone else invented it.
Yeah. Which is the alternative
destroyed them.
to the conspiracy, the actual conspiracy
well,
theory.
It is, but it is
to go. Somebody else would have come up with it.
But it also proves that corporations clearly can be motivated to suppress technological advancement to help the bottom line. Like,
totally.
that is just, and then there's all
but you would assume that, I mean, if you're taking the Kodak case, let's say someone had come up with a car that didn't need gas. I mean, for starters, the car companies, what do they care? They make cars, not gas. But let's
the
say
oil companies would care.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. This wasn't the case with Kodak, that it was a different company and they suppressed it. They suppressed their own thing because they were stupid.
It shows the mechanism, though.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. But it also shows that then somebody else will just come along and do it and get away with it.
So that's one we can prove, though, that reaction does exist within you know, for-profit companies. And then there are, like, obviously you can do the deep dive down the conspiratorial rabbit hole, but there has always been rumors of, like, why, you know, yes, cars are very nice and, like, the tech in cars is really cool, but, like, by and large, it's not very different than what it was when Ford invented it 100 years ago, right? Like, it's really the same exact thing, using the same exact materials, just maybe a slightly different arrangement. And there has been lots of people chattering over the years about that this could have actually ended the car industry. Even go back before that, like, you can look at stuff, look up stuff on, like, Nikola Tesla.
Yeah.
And, like, the rumor is he invented electricity that can travel without, like, cabling and stuff. Like, it can just go through the air. And so, like, there's a reason that there's chatter on this. Here's my caution on the other side of it, though. And this is to the Maritimers. Just because there's a big, successful, booming company does not mean they've done this or are doing this. Like, you see a lot of critique about Irving, or you see a lot of, like, I have friends that work high up in Irving. I have friends that are high up in, like, other large, like, multi-billion-dollar.
Anybody at McCain? I'd love to get some free French fries.
Don't actually. Andy, he's from up there. Andy worked at McCain, Pastor Andy Broad.
Yeah, but probably not at the I could get you free French fries level.
The ones off the ground that he swept.
Exactly. Yeah, he could get you half rotten potatoes.
Yeah.
He knows where the dumpster is.
But, like, I actually know of some, not particularly the Irvings, but I know of, like some businesses that are highly, like, there's kingdom people at the center of it. They're highly profitable, and they're wildly generous. And some of these big companies, like the McCains, like the Irvings, like the Cooks, like they've chosen to actually stay in Atlantic Canada. Are they building a big business? Yeah, but they could do some of that elsewhere too. And there is a heart for this region, you know? So I just would not assume that every big, I don't know, maybe we were discipled too much by the raccoons and we think that we just think every big corporation is Cyril Sneer.
Yeah.
And they're just out there to just rape the land and rob you dry. And I just don't think that's the case. So I think there's an extreme reaction to both sides of this where you can say that never happens. I bet it does.
Yeah.
And also that's always happening. No, it's not.
Yeah.
That'd be my take.
I think they're absolutely, does it come to the point of killing people? I don't know.
I bet it has.
Sure.
I'm sure there's a case, but like, is that, you know, does ExxonMobil just have an assassin on staff? Like,
Man, that'd be amazing.
can you, there's a movie that needs to get
The
made.
Exxon assassin.
There you go.
The Exxon executioner.
The executioner, but 2 X's from Exxon.
Someone invented a corn-powered car. Send in the X.
Well, see, now you got conflicting.
Professor X.
Then you
EX.
got then you got conflicting interests because the whole big corn thing in the States, where the government pays corn farmers to grow corn more than they need, which is why you get corn syrup because it's virtually free after government supplements. Anyway,
All the conspiracies today.
no, that's just a fact. That is a thing that like the yeah. Anyway, I do think that companies have an instinct for self-preservation, and I understand that. Even if you're like, let's say you're the CEO of whatever huge corporation, you don't even have to be evil in that. You just have to be narrowly focused. But even if you're like, man, if all my employees lose their job, you know, like if you're a big oil and gas company, you go, man, what if thousands of people who work oil refineries and all that lose their job because we found a car that like runs on salt water and its only exhaust is pure drinking water or something? Like, I can see where you'd be like, and maybe if you thought about the big picture and all the world and, you know, the whales and everything else, you'd figure out a way to come around on that. But I can see how even, you know, without being evil and greedy, you could get there. But also I do think there are people in the world who are evil and greedy.
Yeah.
And so,
Well, there's people leading the world who are
yeah,
evil and greedy.
I mean, if you look at the whole Epstein thing,
yeah.
and you go like, okay, if that's what they were willing to do to people just to have what they want, and they had the money and power to do it, what's to say, you know, not necessarily that big multinationals all have some sort of sex trafficking operation, but I mean, would they make someone disappear? Would they offer a guy, look,
Some of them probably.
you can live on an island for the rest of your life and not have a care in the world? And the guy goes, no, I want to change the world. And they go,
your
okay,
choice.
you're going to live under an island.
Yeah.
Right? Like you will be
sleep
on
with the fishes.
you will be on this beach. Whether you're tanning or washed up is up to you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you're going to have a horrible diving accident or
I
whatever.
very
I
much
think
think
it's
that
I think it's
happens.
possible.
Absolutely.
I don't think I do think if you're trying to put some logic to it, I don't know who anti-gravity technology would threaten. Maybe somebody, I don't know, like if it becomes
the
a new
whole
form
auto
of,
industry
yeah.
would be
I guess.
completely destroyed.
What if you turned off? I mean, maybe if it
Planes,
just means you levitate. but
all of our ways of travel would be completely
yeah,
undone.
I don't know. I feel like some of these things are.
Dude,
Military?
the implications on anti-gravity would be insane.
How's anti-gravity going to help a car? You just float away?
if it changes like what we think are the laws of physics, yeah, you like who's to say this tech couldn't be on your feet? Like you
And
would.
then you just float into space? We need gravity, bro.
Oh, you can adjust it though.
Oh, okay. You can
so-
dial it up.
Yeah, well,
dial
that's
it
the
down,
thing, you know?
localize it.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm working on a tandem toilet, and if I show up dead someday, you'll know big toilet got me.
I just hope you don't mix that with anti-gravity technology because that could get bad. That could get bad. Well, Justin, I wanted to ask you a question. There's a question we ask people frequently here when it is tinfoil hat time. You spend a lot of time in the woods.
Yes.
You spent some time in some other unusual, atypical environments.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen anything that you would describe as like otherworldly, supernatural, something like that you just can't explain?
Yeah.
Tell them
right.
we're here for it, dude.
Story time with Daddy Justin.
Let's go.
Well, so I think the the one that would come to mind is not necessarily something I saw, but something I experienced.
Lay it on us.
And it has to do with like demonic thing being attached to physical objects.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll just paint the picture. So I was already back in New Brunswick, and I was living out in Belle Isle and off grid with my dogs. And I developed a relationship with a guy, and Christian guy, and there was just like he had given me something. One day he's like, "Here, I want to give you a piece of clothing." And I was like, "Okay," took it.
Big cloak, huge red pentagram on the back.
Yeah. No, it was just a regular like a shirt or something. But
Said property of Merlin.
I don't know. Maybe something was stitched in the seams. I don't know. Anyway, so I took it, whatever. I forgot about it. And then I went on this journey where I was under like tremendous spiritual attack. And this was at the point of my life when I'm like, I wake up one night and something is in my room. And I can feel it dead of the night, like, you know, and I start going, how are you here? Because I did the whole like, this house belongs to God. And I'm like, you know, you're here, you're not allowed to be here. And it was like, I felt the Lord just speak to me and say he's here because it's attached to the shirt that this guy gave you. And I was like, weird. And I was like, where's the shirt? Because I hadn't seen the shirt. And then I had a visual image of exactly where the shirt was in my other spare bedroom in the third drawer down in this bin. Just like I knew instantly where it was. And I was like, I have to get it and throw it in the fire.
How long had you had the shirt for?
Months.
Months.
Totally forgot about it. It was one of those things, like, you know.
And did this stuff start as soon as you got the shirt? Looking back,
No, well, looking back, it was among a bunch of other things that were happening.
Okay.
Anyway, I jumped right up, got it through the shirt. As soon as it went in the fire, boom, I could feel the atmosphere lift in my house.
Wow.
Instantly.
Wow.
And then it began this other journey of like, okay, Lord, talk to me about this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Right. But that was like, you know, an experience that's I'm like, I can't explain that.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I can really like, I've searched the scriptures to kind of even get some theological grid for it. And it's like,
Find the story where the shirt has a demon in
right.
it. Yeah.
Or some sort of attachment, you know, like how because I willingly received it, brought it in. I mean, it was a t-shirt. I don't know.
Did you ever talk to the guy?
No.
Be like, dude, what were you doing in that shirt?
No, I wasn't. And I thought I have some
I mean, it doesn't really
insight.
help anything, but
Yeah. And it was just
Well, you said he was a brother in Christ, though. If like he's doing something that's getting his shirts possessed, you might want to give him a heads up.
no, well, he was, so it's like, again, okay, so it's still processing, like, what does this mean? It's like this guy believed in Jesus, but I believe was super influenced by something demonic.
Okay.
And then it was like influence coming after me. And this was a way of like gaining access to my property. You know, I mean, at least that's how I put it in my mind.
Yeah,
In my experience of just the way it played out.
Yeah, it might not have been tied to the shirt specifically, just
Right.
something from this guy.
Yeah.
If that guy, if a demon had permissions on him,
Yeah.
kind of,
I think a Christian is wise, especially when it comes to their home and their property. Like anytime the Lord checks your spirit when you see something that just seems like, even if it's yours and it seems like it shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
I think you should listen to that impulse. Like
100%.
I've talked about this on the pod before. Like I've found dead animals on my property in weird places where I'm just like, is it possible that a bird dropped this thing here? Yeah. Is it also possible that like a freaking witch put that there? Yeah. So I'm just going to get rid of it, and I'm going to err on caution. I'm going to circle my property and claim the blood of Jesus and ask that his fire and his glory would just purge this place of anything that might have been placed here that I didn't bring in. And then be very vigilant too when the Lord checks your spirit about stuff you brought in.
Oh yeah.
You know, like there's been times where all hell's broken loose in my house, and the Lord, it's like, yeah, you had that music going. Yeah. You had that movie on. Like, what do you think's going to happen? You just friggin' opened a door.
Yeah.
Like, so it's a real thing.
I've found dead animals on my property, but it's mostly mice.
Yeah, your cats
My
are
cat.
they're like trophies.
Usually they're on the front welcome mat, and they're just
they're like, hey, Dad, check out what I brought you.
Yeah.
It's
Or then
kinda
sometimes
cute.
you'll just be like the other day I was walking out we have a big like front deck ish thing. Anyways, and there's just half of like a little vole or whatever, and it's like I guess half a vole is enough to fill a fall up, and he just called it a day.
I don't usually think much of like if I find a dead mouse or something, like that seems pretty natural to
Yeah.
me. But I found like a crow.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've found toads,
Yeah.
which is just like
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
And like where you live wouldn't be a place. There's not a lot of
it's not
toads
a toady
around.
place.
Yeah,
No,
totally.
not at all. So I just it just always struck me funny, and I just might be nothing, but I'm there and on caution on that.
Yeah.
So that's crazy, man.
I'm just glad that where we live now, it's voles and mice that we find. Cause
Not rats.
And yeah, in Halifax, it was rats.
There's rats in Quispam.
Are they?
Yeah, I've seen the odd one. I've
haven't-
never had any, but they're around.
I like my cat to be out there peeing everywhere just to make sure everyone knows.
Yeah, I got a couple cats in our house, so the rats are not going to want to stick around long.
Ours goes outside.
Yeah.
And
Prowls.
works the perimeter.
Yeah, they're
he
good
was
for that.
he was a TNR cat. Like one of his parents, his mother was feral, and so he's a huge sook when he's inside, but then he like goes outside. He's like traipsing around.
They're
He'll like
ultra predators, man. Cats.
yeah.
It's crazy. They're so cute and
cats.
deadly.
You got any unexplained stories you haven't told on the podcast?
I didn't know I was being asked this.
Well, I mean, you don't have to, but I figured I'd throw it at you.
If you have one, go ahead, because I'll have to think about it. I
got
have lots of weird stuff that's happened to me.
Not real. Like I remember once when I was young, I saw like it seemed like this light in the sky that was kind of moving in a weird way,
Not
like
more of
that sort
like
of
an
thing.
orb?
Yeah, well, it was just a dot. It was one of those like if it could have been a star or a light on a plane, except for it moved at a right angle at one point, like that kind of thing. But I don't know what to make of that.
Yeah, I had
And,
experience like that.
Yeah, I was part of an exorcism once, but that's too long of a story to just throw in here. But maybe someday on the podcast,
dude,
I'll tell
yeah. I saw lights in the sky one night on Caton's Island.
Yep.
Which that's lots of weird stuff happens there for sure. So
Totally, dude.
yeah.
What do you make of that?
I just think it's a thin place.
Yeah.
I think it's a thin place where just the veil between the spirit realm, and the earthly realm is thin, and that means God has lots of access, and so does other spirits.
Sure.
Is my take on it. It's just a front line, and so I think all the stuff happens there. So yeah, I just had a thought in my mind. Now I've actually forgotten what the story I was gonna tell. I'll tell you. I gotta remember now. I was 17 years old. This is weird. This is probably the last horror movie I ever watched. Watching the movie The Ring. You ever see that? The movie The Ring? This is not a recommendation. I don't recommend watching horror movies at all. Case in point.
Yeah.
I was in my basement. I was probably 19 because I had college buddies at home. We were sitting there watching this movie, and there's a scene where this like the protagonist is like gets up towards a TV, and there's a fly on the video in the TV, and then the fly like lands on the front of the pane of the TV, and the guy grabs it and pulls the fly through the TV, and then his nose starts bleeding. And at the exact time that guy's nose started bleeding, my nose started bleeding.
Oh, dude.
And I was just like, shut it off, shut it off. That's so. Don't watch horror movies.
I just remembered when I moved in. Debbie and I moved into our where we're living right now. It's like the first week we were there. We were laying in bed, and I felt this pawing at my feet, and I was like, Bella, like my dog,
Yeah.
get out of here. And I look, she's not there. Like, that was weird. Laid back down, literally 10 seconds later, pawing at my feet like a dog. Like, oh yeah, you want to talk about like it was? I jumped up, the sheets flying. I get out of here. Like it was. Oh yeah,
It does. Once you learn, once you
yeah.
deal with the fact that it's real and you're not paralyzed in it,
yeah.
it is amazing to me how fast I'll flare up.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
just
yeah.
like I've had nights like that in my house where I just freaking. And I'll let my wife and kids sleep through it, but I will whisper shout that crap
Is war.
through. Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
oh, yeah.
I'll walk right through.
All right,
Like, how dare you?
Yeah.
I'll try to tell you
100%.
this
let's get
story
it. This
quick.
This is fun.
So there was a lady who came to me at my last church years and years ago now, and she just said there was a young lady that she'd been working with in the context of a like parachurch ministry that she works with, who was very interested in Jesus, but she'd given her a Bible, but she couldn't read it. Not as in like didn't have like she literally couldn't bring herself to look at it and like sound out the words kind of a thing. Like physiologically couldn't read it. And they could talk about anything. But as soon as the conversation turned to Jesus, when this girl would try to actually say the name Jesus, her throat would close up and she would have like a heart, she'd
Oh my goodness.
like this kind of thing. Like she couldn't get that word out. So she said, I think there might be something like demonic going on. I said, you think? So she asked a bunch of us to get together and have some prayer with this young lady. And so we did, like set up a time for that. And beforehand, I'd been reading in my Bible, and there's a couple of passages that the Lord led me to. I couldn't remember the actual numbers of them now if I had to, because I'm terrible with numbers. But one of them, I don't even remember, that it was just spoke to our authority in Christ, I think was the big idea. But the other one specifically was, it's one of the times where Jesus, I think it's in Mark maybe, where Jesus casts a demon out of a kid, and it said like the demon threw the kid to the floor and then left, like kind of had this last little temper tantrum and left. So I was like, all right, Lord, thanks. So we got in and started, we were praying with this girl, and first we just start talking, and sure enough, like, how you doing? How's your day? How's your ever? And I understand, like you've been interested in Jesus. And she, yeah, I really,
Wow.
like, just couldn't bring herself to do it. Would get hard enough to breathe. Like she'd have to go outside and like catch her, like it was fall, I think. So it was a little chillier outside. You know what I mean? You just had cold air in your lungs. And so come to find out, like, she had these presences that were around her most all of her life. And she could see like this dark, shadowy figure in corners and all this kind of stuff. And her mom had been into like witchcraft and stuff. It's just textbook right down the line, right? And so then she decided she didn't want this stuff in her life anymore. So she like went to her local crystal shop. And it's just like, yeah, okay. And again, like at the time, she wouldn't have known, but it's one of those things where you're just like, I had a cut and I was worried it would get infected. So I rubbed poop in it. You know what I mean? And you're like,
the North Koreans are attacking me, so I'm going to go to ally with Iran.
Yeah. Totally. Just one of those. Yeah. So you just, okay, this all tracks. And she talked about this one presence that had been with her permanently, she said, for like, she'd see this thing at night. It would come into her room, but there was this, she described it as a woman made out of fire.
Oh my.
That would appear to her, that would follow her around, that she would find in her house, that kind of stuff. So we started kind of leading her just through this time of prayer and like some renunciations and that kind of stuff. And so we, prayed with her for maybe, 20 minutes or something, and took a minute. And the lady who'd brought her to me, who's kind of leading the prayer time, she said, okay, like, how do you feel? And she's like, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to do this and all, but I don't feel any different. Like, I don't feel like anything's changed. And so, all right, well, let's keep praying. And this is why you talked about that, like that, like you get mad, you get indignant, you get like offended.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of standing across the room, maybe 15 feet away from this girl praying, just kind of quietly. And I just felt, I didn't see anything, but I felt like this sense from the Holy Spirit of where in the room this thing was.
Wow.
And I just like finger wagging in the face, took authority and just said, like, you have no authority here in the power of Jesus' name. You have got to. And this girl's sitting with the lady who's praying with her in these chairs. And I don't know, they're probably still praying, but I'm just giving this thing a tongue lashing in the name of Jesus. And it's like, you woman of fire, you are not like, I command you in the name of Jesus. And I just went at her for, I don't know, it was probably 3 or 4 minutes. It felt like not a long time, but probably longer than it actually was. And just kept telling her like she had no rights, because this girl had made, like, she'd renounced all this stuff. You know what I mean? Like all those kind of contracts were broken. And I think whatever this thing was just kind of going like, I ain't leaving till you push me out. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have a right to be here, but I'm also not just going to walk out. And so anyways, went at it. And all of a sudden, this girl jerked forward out of the chair landed on the floor, vomited up this weird goo.
Whoa.
And then just kind of sat up and went, it's gone. So we wiped up the goo.
Yeah.
It was weird. I've talked to some other people who've been involved in stuff like that, and apparently that's a pretty common thing. And it was like, not like it was buckets, but it was enough that it's like, this was not just like she spit a little bit or this wasn't, she coughed one up. Like there was, anyway.
Well, that whole like ectoplasm is a thing. Ever hear that? Like, it's like there's some substance in the body that like spirits can manipulate. So,
and I mean, even if it was like ultimately some sort of frothy, phlegmy thing, it's like, well, it's more than I've ever seen from a cold or something.
Yeah.
So again, it's like a response.
And the timing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a response to something beyond, you know what I mean? Like if you looked at it under a microscope, I don't know what it would be. I don't care. But it's one of those, like in the same way that if you ate some shellfish and then vomited, you would go, that was bad shellfish. The fact that vomit was all other stuff you'd eaten.
Was she able to say Jesus after?
I think so. Again, I wasn't like providing I was just there as prayer support.
Okay.
And so this other lady kind of continued to follow up with her. And I, as I recall, it's been like, this is probably 12 years ago or so now. The one conversation I had with the lady who was helping her afterwards was that she was doing fine and seemed to be making progress and stuff. But yeah, that's
crazy.
That was, it's the only time I've ever I've had times when my son Isaac was really young, he used to get headaches really bad. And like they'd wake him up in the middle of the night and stuff. And I went in and prayed for him many times. But one night it just would not go away. And so I would pray like, Lord, heal Isaac and take away this headache, and just didn't seem to be doing anything. And I just felt like compelled to plead the blood of Jesus over him, kind of go from, this is not healing, this is war.
Yeah.
And did that, and I would pray for him. And as soon as I started speaking the name of Jesus, he was one of those, like he wasn't all the way awake, but he was awake enough to be like literally whimpering. He was in so much pain. And he would just, like you would just feel the tension leave his body and fast asleep.
Yeah.
And I'd pray for a minute or two, and then as soon as I stopped, it would right back up.
Wow.
And had to do that like maybe 4 or 5 times. And then eventually just something broke.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think I've been in situations where there was something demonic involved, but that's the first time, the only time where I think this was like a full on straight up,
that's
like casting a demon out of someone level thing.
I will say
spiritual warfare.
To leapfrog off of you as a dad doing that, and even back to like our homes and stuff. And we'll get into the fathering conversation here in a minute, but I do think, at least I find in myself, I've had a ton of experience, like just seeing the authority that I carry in Christ in my home. And yet still there's a part of me that's slow to go there.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have to be provoked. And I think if I can learn anything or even encourage other, moms and dads of the dozens, like I think we need to be just very aware of the amount of times I kicked myself for waiting too long to pray for a migraine that my wife has, and or my kid's sick, and I just take some Advil, and I'm sometimes slow to start with prayer. And there's been so many times where I've prayed and headaches have gone away and flu has just stopped and colds have dried up or whatever. That's happened so many times. And still, confession time, there's still a lot of times where I'll just treat something naturally that can be actually treated supernaturally. And
we've touched on this before, but I would kind of to jump in with that too, to say, I mean, there's just straight up healing from physical ills or whatever, but even I think sometimes the reason we're slow to pray those more warfare oriented prayers,
the demonic stuff,
is because we are not sure that's what it is. And I would say, there's no harm. Telling the devil he has no place in your house isn't going to cause any problems. You know what I mean? But also, one of the things that the Lord's been teaching me over the last several years is it's very rarely not a mix.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And if your kid is sick because they licked the playground or whatever, and it's that doesn't mean that part of the reason they're so sad is the enemy's also like coming in and like trying to make them feel worse.
Yeah.
Or if you're, you know, whatever, whether you're talking about mental health or physical health, or, you know, if your car is broken down 6 times this week, it might be time for a new car, but 6 times in a week might also be the enemy going like, these brakes are pretty much shot. I think I can nudge those, or, you know, whatever, right?
Totally.
Like, so don't feel like you have to figure out either or.
It's the same solution for all of it, though. It is like in all of it, I think having a prayer first, like operating that space in the spirit first, even with a cold or your vehicle. And like, I think we should pray over that. And then when it comes to spiritual warfare, I think you're right. There's a level of hesitancy, or is it residence? Reticence, sorry. Where you're like, no, like the first time it scratches your toes.
Yeah.
You're like, nah, it's the dog. It's the dog. Yeah. And I've compared it in the past to like when you're coming down with the flu and you know, you're like, I'm not going to barf. I'm not. Nope. Nope. And then it gets to a point where like, this is happening. And that's similar with spiritual warfare, where it's just like, all right, this is happening. Let's freaking go. Right. You just gotta chuck. And it's just part of.
I'm at the
Christian
point though
life.
too, when it comes to spiritual warfare. Like I get that, like I need to diagnose exactly what's going on here before I know what treatment to apply. Which I'm like, no, you can just throw everything at it.
Yeah.
But also, I'm at the point now where I prefer when something is spiritual warfare.
It's like a faster solution.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I think there we have and you know, there'd be people who disagree with this. Like I think in Christ I carry an authority over the demonic, like a categorical authority over that is not, I don't necessarily carry over just natural sickness. Or I do believe in healing. I believe we should pray for healing. I believe God heals. But like I sometimes, you know, I prayed to the Lord 3 times, take this away from me. And he said, no, my grace is sufficient. That wasn't, Paul wasn't possessed.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's always his will to conquer the devil.
Yeah.
And so for me, like if it's one of those things where like something could be psychological or physiological, I'm like, the Lord will help.
Yeah.
But if it's spiritual, it's like, oh, great, we can just deal with
can fix
this.
that.
Yeah, we can just we can sort this right out, right?
Yeah.
Like,
That's a good point.
So, Justin, we mentioned kind of at the beginning off the top that you are a new, I was going to say young father, but that would be you are young in your fatherness.
Yes.
At least to a biological child, you know, kid you're raising from scratch. We know you kind of play a father role to a lot of
them
people.
from scratch. It's a great way of putting it.
Well, that's what we always say.
whole process.
We made 2 from scratch, and then we got another one. But yeah. So speaking though of being a father for the first time, how's that going?
It's a mixed bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's good? What's bad? What are you liking?
It is like, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when I was up north and I was running my dogs on the frozen Hudson Bay. And I looked out and I went, this is incredibly beautiful and absolutely terrorizing at the same time.
Wow.
That's what I'm in right now.
Yep.
So
That's a great
wonderful
analogy.
and also terribly hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What has becoming a father taught you about yourself? Like, what are you learning about you through all that?
I have some room to grow. I am a work in progress.
I have a saying that when one baby enters the world, another baby has to start to leave.
Legit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
It is-
Does it ever expose the baby in us, eh?
Yeah.
And it is a level of responsibility that nothing else rivals.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not even marriage, because
No,
it's
she can
another
take care of
adult
herself.
at least then. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And there's a grieving that I never expected. Like, I don't know if this is common, but maybe it's because I'm a little older, but
A little.
the grieving.
Yeah. Like, what's the stuff you feel you
Well, just
lost?
like the loss of like, okay, so like grieving the way of life
Yeah.
beforehand. You know, like in a way that like, okay, well now I can't all the ways I used to function and think and prioritize all has to leave.
Yeah.
And there's a grieving of, okay, I'm a super social person. Love getting together with people, love doing things. I love to go out and be and do and all the things. And now it's like,
No.
If I can get out for a 30-minute walk, if I can get to the grocery store and back,
Yeah.
the Costco trip, like we are high-fiving, great success.
For context for people too. So Kai is like 2 months old.
5 weeks.
Yeah, not even. Yeah, so
Yeah.
we're talking fresh.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you're
Yeah.
still in the.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy, but it's gonna get worse before it gets better.
Well, I appreciate
in
it.
some ways.
Well, no, but
Yeah.
at like in terms of just coming and going as you please. At 5 weeks, they're sleeping almost all the time anyway.
Yeah.
You can throw them in the car seat and take them if you have to.
Yeah, so that's what people. I don't want to say I got a colicky baby, but he does not sleep.
Yeah, that was my first.
Like
Yep.
I'll spend 6 hours with him from feeding to feeding, and it's like,
Yeah, Ava was that way.
Oh.
She was colicky for the first. I say first 3 months. Melanie says first 6 months. But either way, it was.
yeah,
The sleep thing does get better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty linear. But
Yeah.
the freedom thing, I actually, when you have one kid and they're an infant, you just kind of have another bag you have to bring for a while. But
well, it's just the transition.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
for me, the grieving is just it's. I'm super excited to like build a life around being a family and being a dad. Super excited for that. But there's a weird grieving that I just didn't expect.
There's gonna be loss, like things that you're more aware of you're losing than you would be if you were 24 or 25.
Yeah.
Because you've had a life.
Yeah.
And so you're more in tune with
that's what.
what you have lost than what
Yeah.
I would have been. Like I was 25 when we had Ava, and so I hadn't even had enough time to get acclimatized to what being an adult is
Yeah.
before I was a dad. So you're more in tune with that. I would say though, you're going to quickly discover that there are advantages and blessings that you have
Yeah.
because of the age and stage you're at and the experience you've already had. Like it's not all going to be,
Yeah.
doing this shorthanded or, old. Like it's,
Yeah.
You can't, you lose that freedom to kind of come and go as you please. But on the upside, you have a permanent excuse to get out of anything.
yeah,
Like,
definitely.
some- hey, can you
Ready-made
help-
excuse, man. It's the best.
You help
Sorry,
me move
can't
my
come.
couch. Sorry, dude. Kai needs me. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Holding the baby.
Even the whole
Yeah.
like if you're whatever, if you're a grown man and it's like I've got to check, but you don't have kids, it's like, well, I'll check with my wife
Yeah.
or whatever. Like, well, then it's just like you're looking for permission. But once you have kids, it's like, no, we got a whole operation. We're coordinating here.
If you
So yeah.
if he's colicky, it will get better. Like that actually is like our two boys were nowhere near as brutal as Ava was when she was a baby. Like it was a whole different experience.
Ava's known for being a real problem.
Well, actually, it switched though. After that broke, she was the easiest we had. Like as a toddler and a baby, like she was perfect.
Yeah.
She came out like even school wise and stuff. Like she just came out of the box. No assembly required.
Our
other
eldest,
than those first 3 months, they were
our
hell.
eldest was a much easier baby,
Yeah.
and our youngest was a much easier everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think every kid's different. It will get better. Like
Probably the easiest baby for us was Brett.
the adopted one.
I'm not saying he was the easiest. I'm just saying he was the easiest
for you.
for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't keep us up at
Yeah.
night. Never had to change a diaper.
Yeah, but it's and like being in the like labor and delivery room,
Dude.
bro.
Yeah.
That is the craziest experience
And you
of
you
my
do.
life, and
You
I've had
delivered,
some,
eh?
and I delivered. It's on the medical report, like assisted by the husband.
That's
Like,
wild,
I
dude.
went-
You're a wild man.
I
I,
went-
didn't want any part of that. I was by my wife's head.
No,
You're doing great, babe.
I went in and got him.
I didn't want to see it. I just wanted like
They said to me, "Do you want to cut the cord?" I said, "This is what you get paid for, man. You're the doctor."
No, I pushed a resident right out of the way. I was like, "Get out of here! This is
that's
this is
awesome.
all me."
Hey, you delivered puppies before?
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
Been there, done that.
Been
It's
there.
just
It was the same with the
little less
syringe.
hairy, that's all.
Yeah,
but only a little less when they first come out, dude.
Yeah.
Some kids are hairy.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
They got that like baby fur on them and the
Yeah.
cottage cheese.
It's so hard to process. Like
Yeah.
when you're holding your child, you're just like, what?
it's like seeing his face for the first time when he's popped out and his face is right there, and it's like, oh my goodness. This
When did
is
it hit you that
crazy.
I remember with Ava, this is fun. I haven't thought about these things in a while. I remember with Ava, like it was a terrible labor process. It was like 30 hours when she was in labor to when, and then they ended up like pulling her out with forceps and and they were almost going to go to do the emergency section.
Wow.
So it wasn't a good experience. And so after that, it all kind of been there, done that. Melanie was asleep, and I was just holding Ava, and like there was like that. It just hit me like, oh my goodness, like I'm a dad, and this is my daughter, and like that. When did you have the
2 days?
Oh my god,
Like 2 days later, like it hit me but I was like, not right now. I like remember like not yet.
No,
because I'm about to. I was like, I'm about to lose it, and it was like 2 days later. I was like, I'm gonna go for a drive. I was like, I could not let it out. It was like the dam. I was like, it's not gonna be a little. It was like a major breakdown,
dude,
in the best way.
Dude, how good is God that to take you like out of the woods, you know, like just literally. I mean, the most what's the word, like vagrant life, right? Like you were just kind of doing your thing, and to think that he found you and saved you and called you, gave you a beautiful wife and a son is
a whole new
crazy, man.
It's given me so much,
like eternal blessing. It's not even stuff that can come and go. Like you'll always be his dad. Like
and the beautiful thing too is just the way that God's been revealing himself to me.
We wanted to ask you.
I wanted to ask you about that. What have you been learning about God through all this?
I think first, just like a new level of understanding his love that goes beyond a feeling. Because you think like, I remember like I felt the Lord speak to me and go, I'm about to show you how much I love you.
Jeepers.
And I'm expecting a feeling. I'm like, okay, sweet. I'm expecting this overwhelming feeling.
I'm gonna get wrecked.
No, it wasn't that. It was more the like, for sure, just like the way that I lay down my life for him. I understood on a deeper level the way that Christ would lay down his life for me. And do the things, you know, like just when you're rocking him and holding him and tending to him and, you know, just all the different ways. I'm like, and the patience and just, understanding just the heart of God in a way different, you know, beyond feelings. Like, again, it's not like,
it's almost one of those, like, it's just part of who you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those,
it's not reciprocity at all.
No. And it's not even, I mean, it can be over time, but it's not even to some extent a choice. Like, you're just like, this is just what I am now.
Yeah. And the responsibility. Like the way that the love produces responsibility. Like, because I love him, I am responsible. And just to feel the Father go, because I love you, I'm there's a level of trust that I have in him now. Because I'm like,
oh, you love me like that.
Right.
Like, and it's not because I can offer you something.
Right. Except
like,
for just being whiny and crying. Fussy.
And
I can dirty a diaper for you, Lord, anytime you need.
And the gap between us and the perfect, holy, heavenly Father is so much further than the gap between us and a colicky baby. You know what I mean?
When you became a father, Brent, what were some of the things that kind of that opened your eyes to about God?
Very similar to you, Justin, in the, like, again, this is, I've talked about this in sermons and stuff, but growing up in the holiness movement, I caught a level of performance to please God that just doesn't line up with seeing God as a father. And I didn't understand what it meant to be a father until I had my own, and who couldn't offer me anything. Now they do grow into that. And I will say, like, I'm loving having teenagers because they do offer you things. Like there's a companionship that honestly you can't really imagine when they're little. Like you just can't get your head around that.
The first time you have an actual conversation
that's what I'm
with
saying.
your
Like,
kid.
he's gonna have deep conversations with you.
I'm just waiting for him to, like, I know he sees me.
Right.
The first smile, you know, that first interaction. Yeah.
But like but it'll go even beyond that. Oh, you bring me joy because I can see that you love me and we have a relationship, to like, oh, like you have your own thoughts and your own personality and you could tell a joke and like
the first time your kid makes you laugh.
Yeah.
Is not just because like they fell
Like,
down from it, but
actually
like
laugh.
they crafted
a
funny thing in their
Yes.
brain and then communicate. Like it's just it's wild.
But the thing that and this still is the ongoing lesson, is just him teaching me, even as my kids are teenagers now and the dynamics changed. Like I cannot move the dial on his love for me. It's just this, it's a switch that is on and it can't turn off. And like, even if I defy him, it's still not going to change his desire to love, serve, shelter, provide for me. Like way more than I would, I'm still a human being. Like I still have a lot of baby in me, and like I don't father perfectly. And even in my imperfection, I can see that I would do anything for these kids.
Yeah.
Like if it's in my power to do for their betterment, I will do it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I wouldn't do. And so like if I would do that, like that's what Jesus is saying. Like if you earthly fathers who are wicked and sinful, would do what you would do for your kids, how much more will God not do anything in his power, which everything's in his power to do for your benefit? Like that's been the big ongoing, God revealing that to me more and more, that but back to your comment earlier, like I can just rest in that. Like he's fathering me.
Yeah.
Like that's a wild thought to think that the God in the universe sees me that way. When Jesus said, when you pray our Father. Yeah. Like, what? Yeah. Who art in heaven, and hallowed be his name. But first, he wants you to think of him as dad.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
Yeah.
It's stunning.
Wow. Yeah.
What about you?
I think the biggest thing for me was it helped me to, it deepened and made more visceral the wonder of the incarnation for me. So I just remember, like, there's this person who can't lift their own head, who can't roll over without me, who, if he poops, he just sits in it till I do something about it. And that the almighty God of the universe, like, who spoke everything into existence, said, for love of you, I will put myself into that state. And, to think that, like, metaphorically, he holds the stars in his hand, and literally he couldn't hold up his own head. Yeah. When he was a baby, it just kind of that whole, the humility, the humbling, the kind of, of Christ, to just, you think of that Philippians chapter, right? Like, talks about how he didn't think equality with God was something to be grasped or whatever, right? And you go like, oh yeah, like this is someone who, again, has the universe in his hands, and yet he's going, I'll give that up for this. Like I will experience that level of vulnerability. And then to think that, like, he entrusted himself to this, most scholars think somewhere around 15-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Like, so it's not even one of those, like, find me the most, like, people talk about, he wasn't born to a king or whatever, like, but not even from a prestige perspective, but like
from a life experience.
Right. Like, he wasn't born to someone with a staff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is a pediatrician who has a staff of nannies, who has, like, just some chick. I mean, she's awesome, but like, in terms of her status in society, her level of power or resources or whatever, like, just a run-of-the-mill 15-year-old girl, and went, I will put literally my life in her hands. Which
speaks to how he fathers, in that, like, going even into the uncomfortable places and being vulnerable too. My vulnerability with my kids looks different than his, because he's perfect and I'm not. But even some of the more holy, healthy moments with my own kids has often been me admitting to them, hey, I'm sorry I did that, or I shouldn't have lost my temper right there. I apologize. Like, can you forgive me? Like that stuff, even, you find, is good fathering.
I shouldn't have beaten your date with that hockey stick, honey.
I won't shoot him next time.
I didn't like the look of him. And anyways, your brother and I are going to take care of the body, but I just want you to know. Aiden, get the shovel.
Yeah. Where are we putting him? By the other guy.
Yeah. You know the one. You know the place.
In the graveyard.
Yeah. The old oak tree out back. We'll just
he knows where the bodies are.
There you go.
Yeah.
What have you learned about your wife through all this? I mean, because you guys are relatively quite newly wed.
Yeah.
Too. I mean, Kelly and I weren't real. Like, we were engaged we dated for about a year. We were engaged for about 5 months, married for 9 months before we were pregnant. 9 months later, along came the baby. But, you guys have been married under a year, or just over?
Right now, a year and 3 days from now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you guys, you are still, I mean, you'll spend the rest of your life getting to know your wife,
Yeah.
but you are still very much
Yeah.
getting to know her. What has that taught you about her? What's it revealed to you about her? How do you see her differently now?
Massive increase of respect. Like she's crazy. Well, the birthing thing.
Yeah.
Watching her do that with failed epidural and no painkiller, like just nothing worked. But seeing that whole thing and just the way that she went through it, like that's crazy. But even just to watch her be a mom. Yeah, it's just beautiful.
It is.
So massive respect. Yeah. And just again, like you think you love someone and then you see them in watching her be a mom makes me love her so much more. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild to see, and I know not every, like, this is not a universal, but it's very common. It seems to me, and maybe I'm wrong, like men, like whatever, you tighten your belt, you stiffen your spine, and you figure out how to be a dad. And women, there just seems to be like this. It's like the Matrix, you know what I mean? I know Kung Fu.
Yeah.
Like, how do you know how to make this baby stop crying just magically? Like, how do you?
Well,
And there is like, there's
yeah.
just a wild transformation. That,
I'm glad that she is maternal.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like that was the thing. Cause sometimes you don't know,
Yeah.
you know, but to see the natural lean towards just like that, you know, but I mean, she's just, you know, in nursing, like she's a nurse practitioner, like that would tend to lean a little bit. She's caring in that way, but
Can I ask you?
Yeah.
And we can cut this if it's
Yeah.
not for the air, but early on in your guys' relationship, I think you were saying we're not sure if we're gonna have kids. Was that ever a part of the conversation? And then was there a journey on that of like, let's start our family now?
well, early on when we were first dating,
Yeah.
and like because it was like, okay, we're dating, let's start getting some of these big hitters. Like, I want a family,
Yeah.
like right
Okay,
away.
okay.
And
You said that or she
yeah,
said
I
that?
said that.
Okay.
I mean, I was like, you know,
Well, yeah, you're hearing the clock tick.
right, yeah. So I'm like, let's go. You know, she never thought about it.
Okay.
She never processed. Like she was still on track to like in school. So early on, it was like, I don't know. I think I want to wait. And for me, it was like I don't know if I can wait.
Right. Yeah.
Medically speaking, I'm not sure how long.
You know, but once she sort of had some time to think about it, process it, she was very much like, we were both like, yeah, you know, we want to start a family ASAP.
Yeah.
For context, she's
Yeah.
significantly younger than
She's
you.
a couple years younger. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it would be one of those like
Yeah.
she would have been thinking. I mean, she didn't set out to marry someone who was 42.
Probably not.
So yeah, so I mean, it's one of those. I can see why she'd be like, from her stage of life, we got time to figure this out.
Yeah.
From your stage of life, it's kind of time to pee or get off the pot.
yeah.
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 So I
Yeah.
could see why that would take a lady a few minutes to just kind of go, oh, okay, yeah, this is part of, if this is the road I'm going down.
Yeah.
But it's cool to see her. Again, I totally agree with you. Like just seeing your wife, like almost like something else blooms in who they are when they
Yeah.
become a mom.
Yeah.
It's just like such a cool thing to see.
And it's like a power.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's just one of the, like, there's just these abilities that all of a sudden they seem
Yep.
to, like, it's the
Yeah.
wildest thing.
Yeah, it really is.
I often think too, if you watch a woman be a mom in general, particularly if you watch them give birth, this whole women are the weaker sex thing, you're just like, are you freaking kidding me, dude? Like they're the toughest people that exist. Like there's just,
Tougher, but weaker.
I mean, maybe not able to bench
Yeah,
as much.
strength,
That's what I mean.
But in terms of like emotional strength, mental
Yeah.
strength, like even just pain tolerance, toughness, you're just like, dude.
I do think there's a good argument to be made, just even from Genesis 1 and 2, that like everything God made in that sequence got more complex and beautiful. And like that he made women last.
Yeah.
It should cause us as guys to like at least humble ourselves and say, they probably are smarter and they're definitely more beautiful. Yeah. Like,
Well, and even the whole, and they are more complicated.
and they are more
for
complicated.
sure. But even
Yeah.
if you look at like where it talks about a helper, right? Like that's the same. It's not like servant helper.
Yeah,
it's
helpmeet.
Yeah, it comes from the same like language that's often used of God, like almost more like a rescuer. And I'm not into like the dumb, helpless male trope,
Yeah.
but there is like a
Oh,
like,
man.
yeah, like Jesus or God says like, oh, this guy's not going to be okay by himself.
Yeah.
It is not okay. Right? He made it. It was good. And he made it. It was good. And then he made a guy and he's like, actually, this is not great. We're going to need to round
This is
this
good,
out.
but we want it to be very good.
Right. We're going to round this out a little
He
better,
made-
right?
He made them.
I mean, he
instead of
literally
very
says
good.
it is not good
Yeah.
for the man to be alone.
Yeah.
Like this guy is, he needs, and I think it's important too, and all that. Like back to the whole, whatever. I think women are, in many ways, have a stronger constitution, but can't bench as much. Like we are together, a reflection of the image of God,
Yeah.
right? And so, like there are strengths women have that men just don't have. I mean, generally speaking, and I do think there's when. And I don't mean this in any way to say that if you're a woman and haven't had kids that you're somehow less, but there is like a gear that unlocks.
Yeah.
And I don't want to denigrate or downplay women who, for whatever reason, don't have kids, but I also want to acknowledge the reality of those who've been moms.
Yeah.
There's just something like there's this other level something that unlocks there, and it's just wild to see. And it makes, I know to me, like seeing my wife be a mom makes her in the deepest ways so much more beautiful to me. Like it's just this whole other dimension of who she is that you just go like, you stand in awe of it and you go, this is incredible. Like look at her.
Totally. So happy belated Mother's Day to all the moms.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just a couple days ago. So,
Yeah, this is in real time we're wishing you it in advance, but in your time,
Yes.
it's hope you had a great day a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
Any advice from you got 5 weeks of experience?
What would you have told yourself 6
Yeah.
weeks ago?
Ooh, there you go. What if you get in a time machine and go back? What would you? What advice would you give?
Dude, I know you
Okay.
think this, but
So what I would, the whole, you better get sleep now. You know, like like lighthearted kind of joke. Stop. You tell me straight up.
Yeah.
That this is going to be horrible.
yeah.
Like I feel like my friends didn't help me. They did not. You did not prepare me. You did not
You just didn't
actually
hear it, dude.
No,
That's just
well, I heard the I guess I didn't recognize the sarcasm as much as I probably should have. But
The gallows humor of the guys who've
Yeah.
been there, you thought was us making light of it
Yeah,
for
yeah.
your good, as opposed to as a survival tactic. For
maybe they
ourselves.
didn't remember how horrible it was.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, I would be like, it's going to be brutal. Like the trenches are real.
Yeah.
Like, again, this was like, I thought, well, if I did this when I was in my 20s, maybe would it have been so bad? Am I suffering now a little bit more than I probably could have? Maybe. I don't know. It's brutal. I've discovered that 1 hour naps 24/7, for weeks upon weeks is just horrible. Like it is brutal, But it's taught me some cool stuff. I will say, there's been this journey, like conversation with the Lord about it, because all my rhythms are just out the window. And so like I was like, Lord, like, my ability to minister to people and love people and, your ability to flow in and through me is dependent largely on my ability to create rhythms,
Yep.
to be close with you.
Yep.
True statement.
Yep.
Also false statement, because, he loves the other people on the other side and he'll work through me despite, my sort of shortcomings in that area, which I think are in this season, legit.
I think that actually circles back to something, Brent, you said way back when we were talking about Perez Hilton, about the faithfulness thing.
Yeah.
And I think those things we do to be prepared or to be in the right place to be used by God
Yeah.
aren't actually as much about how important they are. It's about the statement of priority it makes.
100%.
And so it's one of those like if I know I'm preaching in 2 weeks, I should be working on that.
Yeah.
And if I walk into somewhere and at the drop of a hat they go, "You got a word for us, AJ?" I shouldn't be
Nope,
like,
but
actually,
I'll-
I can't. It'd be unfair because I haven't been able to honor the Lord through my prep. It's like, no, if then you jump up and you just trust the Lord will be there.
Yeah, when we're weak, he's strong. As long as we didn't.
Yeah, as
phone
opposed
in
to when
that,
we're
like,
lazy, he'll do all the
when
hard
we're
work.
lazy.
That's
Yes,
that's
but-
the thing. It's like if I'm being undisciplined,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or I'm like leaning towards like, well, I don't want to be legalistic, so now I justify my laziness.
Yeah.
Well, that's go just two ditches. So
Yeah. I say this to the glory of God, not to toot my own horn, but some of the biggest, like some of the best leadership stuff I did was when Alex was an infant. You know, like we were still right in the mix of all that. And I look back on that time and I think, how did I do that? And the answer is I didn't. Like God just gave me extra grace for that season.
Yeah.
And I think Dan Lamus said something to me. I don't know whether it was in our first round of having babies or with Alex later, but he said, dude, give yourself wide margins on your expectation for your character, and like just you're just not the best version of yourself. Like you're going to be so tired, and just he goes, give yourself a lot of grace. And I took that to the bank. You know,
Yeah,
like
I could have used that.
Oh, you're still in it, man. So take it right now.
I'm taking it now.
I'm looking forward to the testimony of, and you probably remember this, AJ, like, well, Melanie breastfed too. So like she was constantly feeding the babies through the night and stuff. And I remember like there'll come a night where he won't wake up for 5 hours, and he'll have slept 5 hours straight, and then he'll start crying, and you guys will both wake up and see it's 2:30, and you guys will both like smile and high five and hug and just be like, we had a full 4.5 hours.
Yeah. Full 4.5 hours.
I feel amazing. You know, like it's that. I remember those nights just being like, whoa. And then the next night it goes away. But like
our boys did both. They were formula and breast.
Yeah.
Because they're freaking giants.
Yeah, they're
and
big
they're
boys,
just,
yeah.
dude. I was telling you the other day, Justin, my eldest son's record was 8 8-ounce bottles in a single feeding. He just more. It's like a cartoon. Like you just watch the level drop with every suck, and then he'd puke half of it back up because he'd
want more again.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He'd drink 2, puke 1 up, ask to take 3 more. But the upside of that was I was able to help with the feedings, which was nice. But I one of the best things anyone said to us in our early parenting journey. We weren't like the super worried parents, but we're still like, do you have to boil the soother every time it falls on the ground? And like some of that stuff. And we were, well, what about this? And so we had our doctor at the time had been a missionary doctor in Haiti for years. So she was like super chill. And I think Kelly had cut her finger. She was reaching for something. I think it was underneath the fridge, and it cut her finger on some piece of metal that was like slightly rusty or whatever. And so she like goes to the doctor and she's like, should I get a tetanus shot? Like, especially when I'm breastfeeding and stuff. And the doctor goes like, if you want one, I'll give one to you. She said, I've seen women give birth on a dirt floor and cut the cord with a rusty knife and everything was fine. And then she just looked at us. She goes, he'll survive having you as his parents.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. And I just remember that whole thing of like, oh yeah, like, yes, we can, we could do better or worse here, there, or wherever. But like at the end of the day, like you got what it takes.
You do have, you do, and the baby does. Like there's a fragility we assume they have. In some ways they don't. Like, and sometimes if you can watch the parents who have 3, 4, 5 kids, like watch. Like if you got to watch like Katie and Micah with kid number 7, you're like, okay, that's top level here. Like that's, they know like totally. I don't need to helicopter this.
Before we started, I was talking to Justin about his kid's name, and I mentioned the name of some of my nieces and nephews through my brother-in-law, and they've got 7, and they live on a remote ranch in Oklahoma. And it's their youngest. It's just amazing. Like they're legitimately free range. I don't mean that as a euphemism. I mean in the same way that the chickens are.
Yeah.
You drive up their driveway, you'll see some little dude, cowboy boots,
no pants,
dong hanging right out in the wind, or like booting around on a tricycle, not a stitch of clothing on him, hooting and hollering, having a great time. There's chickens and cats and cows, and they're just having the greatest time ever. And all stuff that most parenting experts, whatever. It's like these guys are having the best life ever.
They've got it figured out. Yes. Right? Those ones that have done it 5, 6, 7
can't get
times.
a diaper rash if you never wear pants.
But here's the thing too. This is what I found especially was you have the parents who have like the 5, 6 kids, and then they come to you and they give you all the advice, or they're they make it's like, look, I know I'm a new parent.
Yeah. I gotta go
I'm aware that I might be like, but just like don't let that stuff get to you, because it started to get to me. Like
okay.
you just a little bit like, you know, the little side comments or little sort of things that people would say that make you feel like you need to just like, so what if I want to just be like, you know, breathe over there for a minute, you know,
Yeah.
like don't make me feel bad and don't go talking to me about your friends to me. Like there's this level of like, if someone would just be like, don't let that stuff get to you.
Yeah, that's
because it
good.
can.
I
you
think
know?
I think sometimes they are genuinely like, I could save you from a lot of headache I went through.
Sure.
So you just got to kind of go like,
Yeah.
all right, I'll file that away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll do something with it. Maybe I won't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the young people in your life, real quick, can you just tell us a little bit about the salt mine, what it is, and then we'll get to our mountainous top 4
Yeah.
and call it a day. But
Sure. Yeah.
so what is the salt mine?
Salt Mine is young adult ministry for the St. John, pretty much for the region of St. John. So the idea is that it's a space for young adults, Christian, largely, but it's a ministry for them to come find community and be together and to come and gather around Christ. So, I say that because I've been so aware that a lot of, the gatherings that we would call Christ-centered, are maybe not Christ-centered.
Yeah, they happen at a church.
Right. Like, he's there, but it's a preference and it's opinion and it's, and all those things are important. But I find for young adults specifically, there's just so few of them that if it's not unto something a little bit like more like Christ, then all of a sudden you've got hundreds instead of little pockets of 5 or 6 around this, So anyway, it's a space for them to come together Saturday nights, find community, grow in discipleship. And what does it mean to be a young adult and to pursue and follow Christ with your life?
So,
Give your life.
that what you're building there is a community for the purpose of discipleship, as opposed to just like a social.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean?
100%. I try very hard to follow some of like the convictions I've had from the Holy Spirit, which is to be very focused on spiritual intensity. And I mean that in like, I'm not just like, I don't want to just check the boxes off.
Yep.
But like really we're here to be social time. It's like, I don't want to be a babysitter, but I'm very interested in helping you grow in your relationship with Christ. And I've got all the time in the world for that.
So if we have some young adults who are listening, who are in the St. John region in general, want to maybe check that out, be a part of it, where can they find more information?
Instagram is probably the best way. Facebook or Instagram. Instagram's our biggest by far. So that would be the saltmine_SJ.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter's gone. It's been hugely impactful for her, and she's just a senior in high school. So you've allowed her to peek in, and it's been big. So
We make wiggle room for like it's 18 to 29 is the But I'm more flexible. If you're 17 and
you're serious,
and you want to kind of
And the kind of primary weekly gathering is Saturday nights, right?
Saturday
Yeah.
nights.
So check it out.
Yeah, 6.
yeah.
You can also find it on Facebook. I think there's a website.
Yeah, but it's probably outdated.
Yeah, but it might have like the location or something on it.
Yeah.
It might.
There we go.
20 Edith Avenue.
All right.
Yeah.
So now it's time for everybody's favorite recurring segment, the Mountainous Top 4. Today, boys, I want to know, what are the top 4 non-automotive related things that you always have in your car? Kind of your automotive EDC, everyday carry.
I like that.
So like jumper cables don't count. Half a bottle of washer fluid doesn't count.
Okay.
Stuff that isn't related to your car that you just always have with you in your car.
All right.
Do you do any prep for this at all?
A little bit.
All right.
A little bit.
Do you know what you're going with,
Yeah.
Justin? All right,
ahead.
lay it on us.
Yeah. So, well, I have to go. I have a couple. I have one that's like a category.
All right.
Just has to. I'll start with that one. It's basically survival stuff
Okay.
because I can't help it.
You got like a go bag,
Or survival. Oh yeah.
bug out bag?
Yeah.
Okay,
I got all this stuff.
Did you have to add a baby bug out bag at this point?
No,
Dude, you
what's
need to
in my
get on.
bag will cover everything.
Okay.
But, and it's not what you think though.
What's in the bag?
It's duct tape,
Yep.
zip ties,
Yep.
a hammer.
A tarp. Turns out Justin's a serial killer.
canned food.
You can solve a lot of issues with those 3 items, and a lighter. And basically, in wintertime, I have some warm stuff.
Yep.
but that's like in my car
love
all the time. There's like those 4 items.
This is not on my list, but I have a saw in my car at all times because
Yeah.
you never know when you're going to find a good tree and need to cut down and
Need
take
it.
home.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm a woodworker, bro. I cut a branch off here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, it's just passed by that maple.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hand saw, so it's not like I'm cutting down anything huge, but every now and again.
You drive by, you see AJ just hacking away at this big, thick maple tree. He's gonna fall over Hampton
You
Road.
come back 2.5 hours later, I'm just
still going. Yeah.
all right. So you got your go bag,
and then more
survival bag?
practical, kind of like I gotta have napkins.
napkins.
Straws.
I gotta
Straws.
blow my nose. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would say probably after that, it's sunglasses, and cologne.
Cologne.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What's your go-to? I'm on a cologne kick right now. What's
Yeah.
your go-to
Oh
cologne?
my goodness, I don't even know the names. One of them's a Zero something. It looks like a bullet, like a revolver round.
Okay.
It's a cool little
Yeah.
yeah. And then the other one is
The cologne. I, should
I don't know.
throw
I got
some in
2
the car.
types, but I always yeah, because
All
you
this
just never
cologne
know.
talk's got me thinking maybe I need to. Give
I'm
myself-
enjoying it. Like
no,
it's like
I
I don't
used to. I
care a
just kinda
ton
get out
about
of
what
it.
I wear. I think I'm going to embrace how I smell.
There you go.
But I listened to
And I
the
don't-
last one with Gordy and your cologne talk. I just would say this: cologne, like smells, should be discovered.
Yes, they shouldn't.
It
they
should-
shouldn't be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
I'm here."
Yeah. That's my opinion.
Yeah, that's good.
A good.
You have to get within a certain proximity.
That's good.
Yeah, because I've allowed you into this space,
Yeah.
therefore you can, you know,
I'll
you're
take
welcome
that.
to.
Yeah. Oh, you
know.
smell good.
Yeah.
Should be a
Well, you
pleasant
got-
little surprise.
Yeah,
What's
exactly.
your line? Like handshake distance, hug distance,
Hug distance.
hug distance.
Yeah.
There's a good tip for those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you smell my cologne right now? Is it like
No.
forceful?
No, but also there's these beautiful bars of soaps that are actually they're quite strong too.
They are.
So I can smell them
They're
right now.
pungent.
And I like them.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't really.
Anything
smell
else in
them,
your car? Cologne. That was the last one.
That was
Cologne.
it?
Yeah,
All
we
right.
can finish there. Maybe deodorant.
All right, I've got mine. Eyewear, like
Yeah.
sunglasses,
Yeah.
and then I do actually keep. I have a low prescription. I don't need it 99% of the time on rainy nights that are hard to see.
I have that same prescription.
Yeah, I'll throw my glasses on when I'm nervous. Not nervous, but I got to be
Yeah.
like I really got to pay attention. I'll throw the glasses
When you're
on.
in that, where are the lines again?
Yep. A USB-C cable. So it's just something to charge the phone if I'm on the go.
Do you plug that into the car?
Yeah.
Oh, I think that counts as automotive.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got to be. I mean, it doesn't have to be. I'm just saying, you got a freebie if you want
All
something.
right,
else.
straws. There's
Straws?
usually straws, plastic straws.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the
Disposable plastic or reusable plastic?
oh, disposable.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you got to hang on to those. My lumbar pillow
Oh,
for the old back, which I'm considering putting in the back corner.
Yeah?
I need a little lumbar support.
I could use some.
And then seasonally, I'll have some maybe some warm stuff in the winter, and I have my fly fishing crap in the back in the summer in case I get in the right situation. There's been a few times I've just been able to. I should throw the old gear on and go chuck a line for a few minutes. So it's in the trunk of the CRV right now.
Well, I gotta give honorable mention to my coccyx pillow.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise my bum hurts. But I would say my gym bag always there.
Do you like?
I take the stuff in and wash it.
Okay, yeah,
like
just checking.
once a week or whatever. But yeah, gym bag's always there, and usually like I don't.
I hear Leonce right now just being like, "Man, you're dirty."
No, like
You're
I don't,
dirty, bro.
It's not everything I wear to the gym. It's my sneakers. It's my weight belt. It's my
I know,
straps.
I
It's
know,
like
I got it.
there's a
Yeah.
sleeveless hoodie, but like my like
You wash them
pants
once a week?
and t-shirt and stuff that gets washed every time. Those don't live in my gym bag, but yeah, no, and that actually always has Kleenex in it.
Okay.
Because there's nothing worse than being at the gym and needing to blow your nose, and there's nothing but that brown paper towel stuff. And
Terrible.
so I've always got a little travel pack of Kleenex in there too. But yeah, grocery bags, reusable grocery bags. Because when we used to live way out at Beulah, it was a long trip into a grocery store, and the gym is literally shares a wall with the grocery store. So I would always do a grocery run when I was going to the gym, and that's just a habit that's kind of stuck. Lip balm. Always got some lip balm. I get the chappity chaps, and so there's always some lip balm. And then maybe the weirdest one, polysporin. I always have polysporin.
You never know when you're gonna get cut.
Dude, I get like weird. my scalp is a mess, and I get like these weird. I got like these skin issues, and it works as like if you even get like a super dry like cuticle around your finger, it's a valid moisturizer. I get the anti-itch stuff that'll like take away pain or whatever.
The Afterbite?
No. It's like it's polysporin, but it just has like a numbing, like a mild numbing agent in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, I've got that stuff everywhere. I've got my nightstand,
I put that on
bathroom.
everything.
Dude, you would be surprised how like I get through some polysporin, and I've always got some of that in the car.
Well, this episode's been brought to you by Polysporin,
Yeah.
Dr. Squatch, New Dads. It's been good, man. Thank you for jumping in.
Yeah, thanks for having
Tired
me.
and all.
It's good. Love it.
You said you're pretty coherent, actually.
This is 2 hours you
so-
could have spent sleeping, so
Yeah,
thank
and
you for
didn't.
being with us.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Good time.
We'll have you back.
See you next episode, friends.